sit back and give you our gut reactions on all things pop culture, film, TV and theatre. We talk to legends in the creative industry and those on the rise. We game old school. We do all of this, and a whole lot more. Like, subscribe, and get involved. Join Lance Dean, Anthony Nielsen, and the Outcasts Creative.
Hard to believe that this channel started. Actually, in truth be told, it really kind of started in lockdown in 2020. But we did the first industry interview in July of 2022, and it was about 6 months on from then that the channel finally kind of took on a more, what I would like to call a professional outlook. So if you're a fan of the channel, or if you're one of the people that's collaborated with me before, or if you're one of the people that I like to support who has their own endeavors, anyone is welcome to pop on here today. I have sent out the link to quite a few people, but I'm sure there are people that I forgot. There's a few people I want to give shout outs to as well, because this last year in particular, I suppose the last 12 months, there's very much been about kind of new beginnings and healing for me. So I'm just going to cover a couple of little things before I bring in anyone. So as I said, the channel started really with industry interview number 1, and that was back in July of 2022. It seems like 10 years ago now. The industry interviews playlist is on the channel. It's what the core of the channel is about. And I interview anyone who kind of does anything creative. And that's not just artistic stuff. That also includes DJs, music promoters, anyone who kind of creates something that people can participate in or watch. And music is a very important element of that. For example, when you go to a club and you dance, a DJ is the person who is responsible for creating the atmosphere in that room where you dance in, along with the club promoter, who's probably also organized the lighting and the venue and so on and so on. So these are all part of that's also part of a creative team. So of course I interview people in the industry that I work in, actors, writers, directors of photography, stuntmen. I'm still trying to get a makeup artist on. They're never easy to pin down, but we've had all kinds of people, and this all started with industry interview number 1, and I had several co-hosts on that interview, one of whom was of course the legendary Critical Drinker. We also had Mauler on this interview with Jason Fleming, and we had there were 3 of us, Suzette Pluck and Dickon Tolson at the top there, and Dickon co-founded the Outcasts with me, and there's actor Jason Fleming at the bottom on the left. Will Jordan, Critical Drinker, a rare appearance with him not actually wearing his shades, which are quite unusual for the drinker. And that was the first interview that we ever did. It was actually the first interview I'd ever done, because I'd never really done interview. I'd given interviews before, but I'd never, about my own career and stuff, but I'd never actually personally interviewed anybody. Then we had actor Phil Davis um, on for industry interview number 2, again with a panel of co-hosts asking questions, and so it went on. And this list now numbers 68. I'll be doing industry interview 69 tomorrow with actress, director, and all-round entrepreneur Nikki Marceau. That is going to be tomorrow at 9 o'clock. And you can see that we have had a whole load of people, from people who've designed game books to Peter McDonald, who directed Rambo 3, Stephen Marcus, people who we did an industry interview with, a load of people that make models, with the late, and in fact, Robert Denham, who was on that interview, who organised it for me, who's at the bottom left there, sadly passed away recently, quite suddenly as well. So that was a real shame that we lost. Robert was an absolute legend of a man. I was lucky enough to interview actress Irene Sue, who starred in films with Elvis Presley. She also dated Frank Sinatra. Alan Graff, who is a stuntman that absolutely everybody would know and would have seen in various films and shows. And then my friend Danny Webb popped in for an interview. Nabil Iqalabi popped in for an interview. And we had some new authors come on. And I always like to promote new people who are up and coming. So we've done several interviews of that nature with people who are relatively new. Also interviewed, well, I did an interview with the late Alan Tompkins. That's in 2 parts, and I uploaded that to the channel, and I thought I'd put it under this category. We have Wayne Byrne, who's a biographer, who's done books with on directors Walter Hill, Burt Reynolds, and a whole load of other people. Howard Ford, who's an incredible, prolific independent director, who's going to come back on the channel pretty soon to promote his new film River of Blood. David McGiffert, who was the first AD on all 3 Back to the Future movies. We have Will Johnson, who was in season 1 of House of Dragon, Waking the Dead. He's done absolutely loads of stuff. John Walsh, cult film biographer, who wrote the Doctor Who and the Dalek movie book, which I've got on the shelf just up behind me. And then a whole load of other people, Daniel Glenn Barber and so on. Someone is actually knocking at my front door, so I'm going to go and see if I can facilitate that. Hold on a second. That was a delivery for upstairs, which I just had to sort out. Sorry about that, people. So we also have we had stuntwoman Debbie Evans come on, independent director Daniel Glenn Barber, Nuno Sadanas, who's an incredible movie poster designer, Tim Thomason, who's an actor whose career I have followed since the 1980s. Then up and coming actors Danny Mosley and Craig Middleborough, Philip Rausch, character actor, good friend of mine. And then we did the cast and crew of The Cost, which was an incredible, gritty, sort of Blood Simple-esque type film that was shot in lockdown. Director Stuart Urban, who did An Ungentlemanly Act and Our Friends in the North. Cassandra McGrath, who was in Wolf Creek. Stunt coordinator Dan Stiles. Actor, director, and producer and DOP Sean Cronin. We had to re-upload the Dan Stiles interview because we showed so many clips from his showreel that it got blocked. First AD Dennis McGuire, who worked on things like Karate Kid 2, Indiana Jones 3, and so on. Director DOP Natalie Kennedy. And then Emmanuel I am Osawagi, who is the founder of the Buff Film Festival. Graphic artist Jason Sandberg talking about his graphic novel. Adrian Tay, director. Actor Tim Bentic. We had director Ron Underwood, who directed Tremors, City Slickers, and among other films, and he's done things like Fear the Walking Dead and stuff like that. And the surprise guest on that interview was producer Gail Ann Hurd, who produced Terminator and Aliens, of course. We had actor Peter Murnick from Andersonville, Billions, The Mist, Granite Flats come on. Fantastic character actor. One of the original editors of the golden era of 2000 AD, Steve McManus. We did a special on 5 Days at Memorial where we had a special guest actor Damon Standifer, who played Emma Everett, come in and talk to us. Kirk Field, author of Rave New World, which is a book about the rave scene. Ben Cullis of 77 Publications, who again is also somebody connected to the old era of 2000 AD. Actor Damon Herriman, who appeared in Justified, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, incredible actor with just an outstanding resume. Dale Dye, military advisor, interview 58. Historian and author Neil Barber, actress, musician Grace Rizzo, aka Thug Muffin, who's also acted on Mayans MC, but she's also an established rapper. Independent director Will Gibley, who just done this fantastic movie Jericho Ridge, and so on. Oh my God, I think I'm running out of breath now. Simon Lewis, number 62, who wrote The Making of a Bridge Too Far. Independent film director James Bush, DOP Simon Rowling, author Adrian Sherlock, actor Jose Zuniga, whose first film was Alive. He's been in absolutely loads of stuff since then. Fantastic interview. And then actor or actress Milana Jackson, fantastic interview. She stayed on for a really long time, which was amazing. We've just done Charles Band, the legendary film producer with 476 credits on IMDb. And we are having director Nicky Marchot coming on tomorrow. So those are all the interviews that I have done in that 2-year period, which is quite a lot when you think about it. So there's a couple of other people I want to plug. I've got somebody in the waiting room, so I'll do this quickly so I can bring in my guest. So one of the things that's been really important to me the last 2 years especially has really been sort of struggles with mental health and stuff like that. I've always been quite a strong person, but the events of the last sort of 4 or 5 years, particularly the period coming out of the pandemic, I really struggled with a lot of things. Had some pretty major events happen in my life, and an important part of that has been there's a couple of things. The Outcast creative definitely has been one of the key things, and I first wrote about that in my blog with this article about how we started doing streams in lockdown, which is really when I started using my YouTube channel, and we did the Kent State production, which is an online production, and we were going through the whole thing. Here's the scene breakdown of it. I did a big blog about it. This is everybody, I think, rehearsing it online, and it became like this online live stream production that we did, and we were reading about 4 scripts a week. It was quite an incredible time for me creatively. I was writing on average around 15 to 22 pages a day, 22 pages at my height. I wrote a 400-page novel in that time, and I wrote about 30 other scripts, episodes of an entire TV series, the Diamonds in the Sky TV series, and then I wrote God knows how many pilots and films and plays and various other things. We have Melissa Stanton from the Outcast Creative is in the chat. She took part in many of the shows we did and also helped behind the scenes on the on the production of False Accounts. I was diagnosed with serious PTSD in the around Christmas time of 2022, there's a blog here about Kent State in more detail. So if you want to read about the Kent State production that we did, there's the amazing poster. You can. That's all on here, and the whole background to how the production came about, and how we cast it, how I got involved in writing the story, and all this kind of thing. And I talk about Keith Gordon, and who was in the original film. There's all the cast rehearsing. So sorry, I've jumped topics a bit there. Yeah. So was diagnosed with serious PTSD in 2022. I've talked about that here. I won't jump on that now. And one of the things that's been really key to me getting through the struggles aside from this channel has actually been going back dancing. And I joined this group called Solo Old School Ravers on Facebook. It's a Facebook group. It's now got over 7,500 members, and it's the brainchild of somebody called Samantha Bliss, who, like many others, kind of came out of lockdown, felt a bit bereft, and she decided to do something about it, and she started Solo Old School Ravers, nicknamed the Solos for short. And basically, really what the group does is it kind of lets people know about rave events that are kind of, I would call them friendly to the older crowd, shall we say, and when and where they're going on. And then various people connected to the group organise pre-meets, usually at a local pub. And the idea is to make everybody feel safe about potentially going out to a venue on your own, which is particularly good for women in this day and age. I mean, it's not a singles event, just to be clear. It's just the solo thing is more about giving you the ability to go out on your own and feel comfortable about it. There's loads of couples that go as well. It's just a really nice social group. I've been to 4 of their events, I want to say now. Is it 3 or 4? I think it's 4. And I've enjoyed every single one of them. They've all been quite different. And I did talk about them on my blog as well, so you can read a little bit more information about it on my blog. But as I said, everybody meets up for a pre-meet, which is quite nice because then you get to socialize with people before you go into the venue. So you get to know a few people, so you're not going on your Todd, as it were. And it's a lot easier. I don't know why that's taking so long to load, so I'll stay here. Yeah, so all the information you need to know about the solos is on here. This is one of the pre-meet photos. I don't think I'm in this photo because I think this is taken before I joined. But as I said, it's a really, really good laugh. I've made a lot of new friends at the events and had a really good time, basically. And it's just been really great for getting my confidence back. And I'm up dancing on the stage every time I go. The other key people are Julia and Tony and Matt Morris, who are the other 2 people who sort of help run it. There's also a lovely girl called Sarah Jane who does little interviews and stuff with people. So I've actually done an interview with them, funnily enough. Yeah, that's not going to load up, is it? So we'll close that. The other event that I go to is Age Against the Machine, which is run by these lovely 2 older guys, Don and Alfie. And most of the events are for over 30, and actually the solo events primarily, not exclusively, but primarily are targeted for events for the older crowd. So it's not like you're going somewhere and it's full of kids, which for me would not be fun. And yeah, their events are really good fun. And again, I'm always up dancing, usually one of the first to dance. They run an event every Friday in London. So it's about getting out and being in an environment with the public, which after my PTSD thing, I found impossible. I was getting panic attacks all the time. And actually, I really retreated to YouTube instead of going out, which while YouTube was really good for me, that of itself was not healthy. So really, Age Against the Machine and Solo Ravers, these 2 organisations have really what have got me out of my shell and got me my confidence back. So thank you very much to Reg and Don, Alfie and Alex. I don't know if I should use their real names. And also Samantha and Julia and the gang, Sarah Jane, who run Solo Ravers. Really has been good feeling part of a sort of an extended family, I suppose, for both of those groups. And I love it to bits, and I'd go to more events if I could afford it. But trying to go to one a month with both. So yeah, so I'm going to bring in my first guest. So the other thing that's been really key for me has been collaborations on YouTube. And of course, the channel is about industry interviews, but the other things that I've been doing are, of course, various other live streams. There are movie watch parties where I just pick a film that I really like and I put it on in the background and I kind of talk my way through it. The best of British drama, I'm really big on this, by the way. I've got a whole load of these that I want to do. I often get a guest on and we talk about a show, or sometimes I just do a gut reaction review to something new, like, for example, Bates versus Post Office and so on. But collaborating with other YouTubers is really, really, really key. And the first channel I ever did a collaboration on, think was I think it was Lady Gravemaster, who is also a moderator on Critical Drinkers channel, which is where we know each other. Not long after that, I did a collab with Cannoli Sasquatch's channel, and then I was on Positive Fandom's channel, and on Positive Fandom's channel, that is where I met Retro Nerd Girl.
Hey.
Hello. So that was a very long-winded introduction, but so yeah.
Happy second anniversary.
Yeah, it's normally earlier in July, but British football being, you know, how it is unpredictable, we had to have it today. Yeah, so I've just been kind of talking through the history of the channel a little bit and getting into all that. Do we not have you on camera with your awesome new glasses and wicked stuff today?
Not this morning. I'm not a morning person.
Okay, is it morning in the space station?
Yes. And yeah, it's definitely not a morning for that. I do have a kind of heavy afternoon, but I've been up since 3. It's sick. I don't understand.
Oh my God. What time did you go to bed?
Well, I think right after the stream I did with you, and we talked, and I don't know exactly what time it was, but I crashed. And
Right.
then I was like, oh. And then when I woke up at 3, I was like, I've got so much to do. And so I did all those things, including there's a new song today.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just so excited. And I see Keith E in the chat. Hi, Keith E. So good to
Keith
see
E is in the
you.
chat.
And hello to everyone. Adrian Sherlock. Hello.
Got Northern English Bastard, who's one of my regular collabs. I've only been doing this gig for a few months, still learning the ropes, but already you thought to have me on your show regularly on Tuesday as well as others. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I've never really, when I've actually wanted to collaborate with people or I've written to them, the last thing that I look at is how many subscribers they have. I don't even really pay attention to that. I'm just all about the person, really. So you know, I think I've written to Drunk 3PO a couple of times, and he has agreed to come on because he was one of the first YouTubers I ever followed. But when I first wrote to him, I never looked to see how many subs he had. I wasn't really didn't really even understand how all that worked back then because I was so naive to the kind of mechanics of YouTube. But I've got a super chat.
Wow.
Blue Collar Loser, happy 2-year, buddy. Driving home, truck runs new past year, hanging with you. Has been an honor. I think that might be in the wrong order, mate, but I get what you're saying. Can't believe we're already on the Band of Brothers finale later. Yeah, it's at 8 o'clock tonight. We're doing episode 10 of Band of Brothers. It's the last episode, and it's been really great fun talking about that show because we all love it so much. It's going to be quite emotional, I think, doing that stream tonight.
Oh, wow.
I think we've got one of the cast coming on as well. So Critical reviews. One thing I love about these streams is seeing all the other creators pop up. Yeah, Critical, I'm pretty sure you're sub to Retro Nerd Girl's channel, but if you're not, do go over and check it out. Adrian Sherlock, who I interviewed. It's on the channel. Has
Insomniacs unite.
well, he's actually in Australia right now, so it is the
Ooh.
middle of the night for Adrian right now. So yeah. So I was talking about kind of my 2-year journey and sort of what a I don't know, it's kind of a crazy, tumultuous, but also mostly positive. I think for the most part, there's been some pretty big changes in my life in that time, but I think ultimately everything's been for the best. So yeah, it's been a crazy time. So Retro, when you come to do your visit to London, you're coming out to Solo Ravers, right?
Oh, you know it.
You're coming for a bop.
Oh,
So
yeah. I might just fly in just to be there for that.
do you want to
Just incredible.
do you know what? It is incredible. Do you want to drop the link for your track um online? Do you want to drop that?
Oh, okay.
If you can drop that in the chat.
Let me see if I can get things going to do that. I've been there's some days when I'm technologically advanced and others I'm like, what do I do? What button do I press? We'll see if I can do that. But yeah, I love that idea that you guys kind of got together and said, "Hey, let's have some fun. Let's keep active. Let's keep our bodies moving because we know as we get older, keeping the body like moving is part of living longer and staying healthier."
Yeah.
And then you have music, and music is so healing. It's just wonderful. And I think it's just one of those things where you found something that not only I don't it's very inspiring to hear your story too. So it's not just helping you. I think you're inspiring people. So
That's always nice to hear. One likes to inspire where one can.
Mhm.
Adrian said, Lance, your streams are like my books. They're a way to express yourself and share your thoughts. Definitely worthy. So that's nice. Something about mechanics here. I'm not quite sure what's going on. $900 parts aren't cheap. Okay. I know he drives an Uber, so I'm guessing it's connected to that. But yeah, this group is amazing. I don't know if I'm not sure if I'm allowed to show the pictures from the Facebook group during this stream. I probably shouldn't.
I wouldn't because
No,
then
I'm not.
people's
I'm not.
accounts are gonna be.
Well, yeah, exactly. And I want to, but you can find them on Facebook. You have to. I think you've got to, fill out a little like questionnaire, like you have to do for some groups. And but yeah, it's dancing is. You're right. We talked about this last night, didn't we? Dancing is really key to mental health. And every time I go to one of these events, and if you don't recognize me, I'll have a hat, but it'll be on backwards because you have when you dance, you get
Yeah,
one of
you
your
don't want to get anything in your your.
when you're dancing with a baseball cap on, it's got to be on backwards. That's the law. But or I clip it to my belt to stop it falling off. But yeah, it's been key, and I'll dance for like 5-6 hours. So yeah, it's amazing. I think Barefoot Bliss, who's in the chat now, I think this might be Samantha Bliss, who actually organised Old School Solo Ravers. It's her baby,
Oh,
basically.
cool.
Yeah,
You had a great idea. That was brilliant. And not only that, it's probably helping a lot of people, keeping people social and like I said, physically active. And
yeah. I mean
it's great.
that
That's just
blog
great.
that blog that I wrote about it, which I showed you, or I put it up on.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think you've seen it. Um, that blog has been read by more people than any other blog I've ever written. Like I think it's nearly up to 1,000 people have read it now. And I'll write a blog about like my top 10 favorite American character actors that will get read by maybe 150, 160 people. Yep, Samantha Bliss is in the house. If you this isn't the first time I've mentioned solos on this stream, Sam. If you go back a bit earlier, you'll see I talked about it at some length actually earlier in the stream as well, but I'm just mentioning it again now that I've got Retro here, who is also a raver and loves dance music and
Oh, love it.
may well make a trip especially to the UK in order to one of these events.
I'll get in my shuttle and zoom on down there.
We might have to crowdfund that. I've just got a voicemail, but I don't see a missed call. That's really weird. How can I have a voicemail without having a missed call? So bizarre.
Well, just to let everybody know, I just put in the link for the brand new song that I released today. It's really it's something else. I love it.
So Retro has got a second channel on YouTube, which is called, what was it again?
Exotic
Exotic
Requiem.
Requiem, where she's
Yes.
creating loads of dance music.
Oh, it's just
Um,
so crazy.
and she's already created like about 100 tracks in
Oh, sick.
mere weeks.
Yeah.
So you wanna check it out. I don't know if you can. That music's copyrighted to you, right? So if we played a bit now,
It's online, yeah. You
um,
could play some
do
of it.
you wanna put some up and I'll share it? Because if I share it, the audio won't work for some reason. But when my guests share a clip, the audio works.
Oh,
So if you want to grab it and screen share it, I'll play a bit.
well, why don't I have the link for the one today in there, but let me
Yeah,
do one for tomorrow.
sure. Just it can be a different one. It doesn't have to be.
Yeah, okay, well, give me a few moments.
So there's also some merch on this site. So I'll just give that a bit of a plug while I'm here. You can get t-shirts and some bags, and I think there's also phone cover, which is pretty cool. For Samsung. I've got a t-shirt on it. So I've just paid for a t-shirt. You can even get a bag, like a rucksack. And there's a hoodie. Do you know what? When people do hoodies, man, they never seem to do hoodies with a zip at the front. Everyone always does
Mm.
and I don't like hoodies without a zip at the front. You get too hot in them too fast.
Oh.
So I always like a hoodie with a zip on the front. There you got the old school ravers bucket hat.
Oh, yeah.
I used to have
That's
one
a
of them.
classic.
I used to have one of them back in the day. I don't know what happened to it. Probably, it's in a field somewhere or something. But but they got some great stuff. I like these shoes as well. It's only women's shoes. That's a bit annoying. Got to have some guys trainers, slip-ons with no laces, preferably for comfort and ease of dancing. Solo ravers, big part of this kind of journey of getting back on my feet, as were Age Against the Machine, who has a public gallery of all their events. These are the guys who organize it, and I think if I go on to this one, you'll probably see some pictures of me. That's a terrible photo, so we won't look at that one. There was one event, that I went to and I was ill. I was really poorly, and I was like, oh man, wish I'd never gone, because all the photos of me at that event are absolutely terrible. But it's that's their Nottingham party, isn't it? Let's have a look at this one. Oh yeah,
That's so
there I am.
cool. It's so nice that you guys get together for this. This is really wonderful.
That's a great photo of me. That's one of my favorite. But you definitely can see I look like Quentin Tarantino. I've got maximum chinage going on in this.
I didn't even notice it. I didn't even notice it until I saw the preview today. I was like, oh yeah, it looks like with glasses, with the shades.
This guy looks like Jarvis Cocker. But this is the gang. There's a lot of regulars that go, and then this is This is Miriam, who was actually, she's a member of the Outcasts. She was in my play about the post office scandal. I think this might have been, yeah, she came for, that's February. Okay, she must have come again. She came along for my birthday party as well. So that's, yeah, that's Age Against the Machine. So it's nice to kind of have these social outlets because, you know, when you get older, like making new friends is not easy, especially when you're in your 50s.
Yes.
So this is, so by the way, in case anyone's wondering what retro looks like, this is a pretty accurate image of retro, but with blonde hair. Fairly close, fairly close.
Well, let me know when you need me to play.
I will. Melissa, most of the events we've been talking about are actually daytime raves, daytime rave events.
Oh,
So,
daytime.
yeah, Age Against the Machine is on Friday evening, but most of the solo stuff, a lot of it is daytime. It normally starts around sort of 2 o'clock, ends by 10. And obviously for those hardcore people that want to stay out longer, there are usually after parties and things. But I'm usually heading on my way home by sort of 8:39. Having, you know, I get there at 2. I'm normally dancing by 3. You know, by 8 o'clock, if I've been dancing constantly, which is normally the case, and that's a minimum of 5 hours. So it's good for getting the weight off.
Yeah, that'll keep you in shape.
Yeah, do you want
I
to?
love that.
So this music is designed by Retro with the latest tools. Do you want to press play?
Yes, yes, I'll play this one.
So just I got this wrong. It's not you singing, is it?
And so on.
On the floor, lights are bright, feeling good, feeling right. Beautiful dancer, you and me, moving closer.
This song is obviously dedicated to me when I'm dancing on the stage, clearly.
Yes, absolutely.
So, did you write the lyrics for this?
Yes, yes. I have so many lyrics that I wrote when I was younger.
It really reminds me of a kind of sort of like a 80s song that was like that dance. You know, when dance was just coming in, so sort of like 89, 90 era. Before dance went a bit more hardcore.
We won't drown. Hold me tight.
Do you want me to play the whole thing? Or?
No, we better pause it there.
Okay.
Well, I'll probably get flagged for copyright for your channel.
You're like, yes, my new channel is just
You might need to
copyright.
send me the copyright code for that so that I can dispute it if they. Because I
If
don't want to chop it.
if that happens, yeah. Wow, we're yes, but
Yeah.
wow, yeah, a lot of fun with music and yeah, I'm just realizing how healing it is. So it's just wonderful.
Yeah, I mean you can't put a. It's funny because I mean, mental health wasn't really something that was talked about openly until probably I think it became more, shall we say, discussions in the mainstream as opposed to just in the medical profession. I'm guessing probably about 10 years ago. I'd sort of 2014, 2013, because I remember around the time we were shooting The Journey, I remember one of the producers saying to me, you know, because your film is kind of about mental health journey, and that's becoming a big thing right now. And I was like, oh, I hadn't really thought about it like that, because that wasn't a term that we were generally kind of banning about, or usually people just would say you're a bit depressed.
Yeah.
That word of itself, depressed and depression, has very sort of negative. It kind of comes. That term comes with a lot of baggage. It's very negative and you know, yeah. So
You know, when it comes to that, it takes time. It takes time to deal with all sorts of like problems and issues that you may have, but also like giving yourself some patience and also seeking help or seeking a way of like dealing with that,
Mm.
and being honest with yourself. That's that's like important, but a lot of times, um, I don't know if where we're going as a society as far as like mental health issues and dealing with them, but we have movies, we have TV, we've got music, we've got the arts, and the arts really they help us to get to either release that stuff or either appreciate it or like dive into that and use it as sort of a conduit. So yeah, I'm loving it. I'm like the rediscovery always. There's always new rediscoveries um, for life and living every day.
Because I know, like, way back in the day, um,
Mhm.
you had connections to the music industry. You kind of dabbled in that world in production, I think, or something along those lines. We don't need to get into it, but it must be quite interesting for you to sort of reconnect with that genre now, but
Yeah,
in a more creative way, perhaps very um, different from your involvement in the past. And also, all of these industries, film, television,
mm,
music, they all have some amazing, fantastically talented and lovely and supportive people. But God, they're also riddled and infested with toxic, awful, selfish people. And you can't meet one, unfortunately, without meeting the other.
mm.
What's nice about YouTube as a creative outlet, and also with what you're doing with your music, is you're very much the captain of your own ship, and
Oh yeah.
it's quite easy to compartmentalize, um, and
And
avoid um, stuff, you know.
and I
Um,
think this is also new territory because I don't know what's going to happen, but also like I hear so many horror stories about people in industry stuff that they either like sign contracts that ice them out of their own creativity
yeah,
and just like gets taken over by strangers and also like just the disrespect from that a lot of creative people get. And it's not like you can't get respect for everything, but at least if you've created something, it should be yours. And
no, I couldn't agree more. I mean, I've lost I lost the rights to something. That I was working on for a while, which
mm,
some really toxic people got involved in, and there was nothing really I could do about it, because the person who was supposed to look after the contracts didn't really have my back, and
oh no.
so that was that, you know. But
Hmm.
so going back to YouTube,
Hmm.
it may surprise some people to know that until 2019, I didn't. Um, I was not subscribed to any YouTube channel. I would go onto YouTube and I would find stuff at random occasionally to look at,
Mm,
but I was not subscribed to any particular channel. Um, the first two channels that I subscribed to, I think within a week of each other, and I'll talk more about them, but I'm going to give them all a little plug here. The first one was Drunk 3PO.
hmm.
And much of this came about because of the videos, very well written and intellectual discussions on what was happening with the over the firing of Gino Carano from Disney and so on. I won't
Mm,
regurgitate that whole topic now, but it was a topic I was already interested in. And in fact, if the lockdown had not been lifted, that topic was going to be the next Outcast play that we were going to do online.
Mm.
So I'd already got quite a way into writing it. Yeah, that was called The Tweet, and I'm still messing around with this book that may or may not happen. I'm still deciding. I've got loads of notes. I've got one chapter written, but I keep changing my mind as to whether should I do a book about what really happened and just do it like a sort of almost like a documentary style, or do I do this kind of fictional narrative?
Ooh,
Anyway, yeah.
kind of like that.
Yeah, it's cool, right? So,
Yeah.
I thought you'd seen that before. I didn't realize you hadn't seen that
No,
before.
I've never seen this one. This looks really cool.
Yeah, I've had that art for a couple of for about 5 years now. So yeah, uh, and of course, actually, ultimately, Drunk was the one person who kind of fought her corner and ended up becoming friends with Carano, and also has interviewed her and brought lots of things out into the open. And he had a very journalistic, factual approach. He wouldn't go on and do sort of big, angry, swearing rants and stuff. And I always prefer that kind of content. So this is where I thought, okay, I'm going to follow this guy. And like I said, I was a bit naive to how YouTube worked. So, and then around the same time, Drinker's first video dropped, and I found an email for Drinker, and I wrote to him directly and talked to him about various things to do with the industry. And within 6 months of that, we actually met in person, and have met in person several times since. His channel was in its infancy now, and incredible. It's now over 2 million subscribers. He's one of the most insightful and clever film critics that exists today in YouTube or indeed anywhere, and does very good critical analysis. And again, whilst layered with a drunken level of artificial comedy, I'll call it, and nevertheless, at the core of all of his videos and commentaries is very, very intelligent film and television sort of narrative analysis. He's just very, very good at breaking things down and saying why they work or why they don't work. And we very much like the same stuff and agree on almost everything. Not everything. I'm a big fan of Avatar. He's not, but a lot of
The
people don't
movie?
like
Oh,
Avatar.
you mean the movie?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh.
I'm a big fan of the first Avatar film. I think so he was the second channel that I subscribed to. The third channel that I subscribed to, because then YouTube's now what happened was, of course, I subscribed to a couple of channels. So YouTube then started suggesting content to me. And I think because I'd subscribed to Drunk 3PO, I kept getting all these videos coming up of this lady wandering around theme parks and going on rides and things. And that was how
Yeah.
I came across the content of Lorena Creole. So this is all very early in my YouTube channel journey. At the point that I subbed to her channel and I was in her chat on several of her first live streams. And indeed most of them probably, because they were always on at a good time for me. They were always on Sunday afternoon when I was usually working from home and doing something at home. And I would tune in, and Lorena would go around the theme parks and show you new rides and what merchandise was on offer. And she also did a merchandise purchasing service for people. And at the time, her channel was just a few hundred subs. And I've watched her channel grow in that time. Yeah, really quite proud of her. And also, we got to meet in person on my last trip because I was going to visit other friends in Florida. So, as she also lived in Florida, we met at Gatorland. So there is a video of me and Lorena outside Gatorland. It's on my channel. You can see that. So then of course YouTube is suggesting more content to me, and as a result of that, I then also connected with Positive Fandom, who I also met, and I've been on her channel. I think I've been on Lorena's channel once for her anniversary 2 years ago, I believe. And Positive Phantom and I have done a number of streams together. She's also been on my channel. Yeah, it's she's not streaming so much at the moment, but we've also met. She came to London to do a kind of big UK trip to go and see things like Stonehenge, which I warned her would be bitterly disappointing. Pile of rocks in a field that you've got to travel like 6 hours to get to. You know, it's really not that impressive. Yeah. So and I believe the first time we met was on her BAFTA streaming party. Was it the BAFTA or was it the Oscars? I forget which.
It was BAFTA, and then we did Oscars later.
And I was the token British man to represent, because it's the British Film Awards, so I was the British representative. I remember I put my posh premiere jacket on and everything. So.
Yeah, you did have a fancy little diddly do.
That's where I connected with Retro Nerd Girl, and the rest, as they say, is history. But the first person whose channel I was actually invited on was Lady Gravesmaster, and I think she was doing a stream about a movie, but I forget which one. I'd have to look around. And I just happened to be in the chat, and I said, "Oh, this is one of my favorite films," and it was just like, "Oh, do you want to come on?" And that was it. Next thing I knew, I was on the channel. So that was my first experience of collaborating with someone. I could list all the other channels and YouTubers, and we'd be here until about 9 o'clock. But there's a huge number. But these are the people that I sort of connected with at the very beginning, that led to lots and lots and lots of other people.
Yeah, I miss RM so much. I hope she comes back soon.
Yeah, RM is such a lovely human being. I do call her up from time to time because I've got her number, so I occasionally I'll give her a ring and see how she's going.
Sweet.
But then I would get invited on the channel of Space Spectacles, so that's another good one. Here we are.
Oh, that channel.
Yeah, that channel.
Who's that?
And Retro, like me, also reviews a lot of older movies, which I love. We definitely love a lot of the same films.
Yes.
It's interesting that you just saw Rollerball for the first time.
Oh yeah.
Because the Rollerball sequences in Rollerball are amazing. The rest of the film is dreadfully slow.
Oh, but I loved it. I loved it.
I thought you would.
It has that 70s sensibility, but there's so many. See, I need to do a watch party on this because there's so many little details.
There's lots of subtext in Rollerball.
It's so good. And so I was just eating it up. I was like eating it up.
Rammed with subtext.
Oh yeah. I loved it. I was just eating every minute of it up. I was like, wow, this is so good.
I think the actor who played Rollerball, who
James
played
Caan?
who played Moon Pie on Rollerball.
Okay, yeah.
I think he's still around. And
he is. I believe so.
it'd be great to get him on if I could, because I thought he was really good in it. And
yeah, he was.
It's a shame he didn't have a more substantial feature film career.
Yeah, he was definitely a TV actor.
Yeah, predominantly.
Did a lot of TV stuff. But
so this is the place for older reviews. Adrian, this is definitely a channel that you would love.
Oh wow.
Because it's a bit of a tradition now. Whenever I mention older films or stuff of that nature on here, I normally have to play a clip from Blake 7. But I don't have it. I think I took it out my videos because I had too many. Oh no, wait a minute. Here we go. I got to stop that. Now that's an old show which retro you definitely would love if you haven't watched it.
I
Um,
have watched it. I think there are a couple of episodes I didn't get to watch because I saw like a broken. I didn't get to see all the episodes because
right.
they were about. But
But
it is very very good. It is very
seasons 1 and 2 are best.
believed.
Seasons 1 and 2 are best. Season 3 is pretty good. Season 4, with the Scorpio ship, has more bad episodes than it has good episodes. But
Hmm.
it's and then I don't know if you've seen this show. Those titles creeped me out as a kid. I was like, this show is spooky. What's going on?
Yeah, it is weird, but yeah, I have not seen that
That's
particular show.
that's the original Tomorrow People, which was remade in the early 90s, and I think I'm right in thinking it was Naomi Harris who was one of the kids in that,
Okay.
who later went on to become Miss Moneypenny in the Daniel Craig Bond era.
Hmm.
But there's a disturbance in the force. You know why? Because Vex Electronica's in the house.
Hello, Vex.
Good morning or afternoon.
Oh, hello, hangover voice. How are you?
I'm sorry. I didn't realize you were starting so early. So now I get to start my day off with Lance and coffee.
Lance and coffee, the perfect combination for any day. Though I
Mhm.
don't personally drink coffee, but yeah. Well, welcome. Thank you for popping in, Vex.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Happy 2-year anniversary. Hi, Retro. It's nice to see you again
Hello.
as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, we've just been kind of talking about how the channel got started, how I sort of the first people I subbed to on YouTube, and kind of where
Like
that
ever, the first people you ever subbed to on YouTube?
yeah. The first 2 people I ever subscribed to.
You
Well,
remember that?
yeah, because it all happened in a very short period of time, around some key events that also
Ah,
led to loads of other things happening. So, all in the same week, it was Drunk 3PO and Drinker. I can't remember which way round they were, but they were in the same week. And
wow.
Lorena Creole was the third person. And so they were the first 3 people whose videos I started watching. And I was subbed on Drinker from the very beginning.
Mhm.
And the very first time he did a live stream, I don't know where that is, but I imagine it's on his channel somewhere. I was in the chat. I was the first person in the chat because it just happened to come up on my. I just
Aw.
literally just opened YouTube, and I'd already subbed to him obviously, and it just came up Drinkers live now, and I was like, this guy
Hmm.
never goes live. So I clicked on, and then somebody in that chat. I think it was Lady Master and me were both in that chat, said, "Oh, you need a moderator," and I just went, "I'll do it," and I didn't even know what a moderator did. And he recognised my name from I'd paid for a couple of super chats, and
Oh.
he remembered that I was the person who'd emailed him and that we'd spoken in email outside of YouTube. So then he said, "Oh yeah, Outcast Creative, he can be a moderator." Boom, that was it. I was the first moderator for Drinker. So.
And a beautiful friendship blossomed from there.
Indeed, has to be said. One that I'm very grateful for as
Oh.
well. So, yeah, which is he's been a very good friend to me actually.
Mhm.
So yeah, I talked a bit about Drunk 3PO, and talked a bit about Lorena and how through her I met Positive Fandom, RM, and then through her I met Retro Nerd Girl. I'm
Mm.
trying to remember what the connection was that led me to the Cannoli Hairy Bunch, the hairband.
It was
thing.
Copa, I think.
Oh God, yes, it was. It was Copa Catania. That's right.
Mhm.
Because Copa and I had an argument about Avatar. So a very, because I don't get all like angry with people like most
Mhm.
people do.
What was the argument on, like, what specifically about Avatar?
So well, the argument was I think it's good and he doesn't like it.
Oh,
So this is
really? Avatar 1?
yeah, I'm a real big fan of Avatar 1, not so much the second film. And
Interesting.
I can't remember where this was. It may have been on Twitter or something like that.
Mhm.
But somewhere on social media, I said, well, actually, I like Avatar. And he said, well, I don't. And I said, well, I'll tell you what, why don't you come on? By this time, I was live streaming.
Mhm.
And I said, why don't you come on and talk to me about why you don't like it? Because I just think it's always interesting to talk to people with different tastes. So
Yeah.
I don't want to do a headland and surround myself with yes men, you know.
Oh, for sure. No, I totally agree with you.
Never go
And then you
full
guys,
headland.
that made that friendship or that disagreement made you friends then?
Yeah. So what happened was we had a very civilized discussion.
Mhm.
It's Copa X
Machina.
Machina now, right? That's why I can't find him. I'm trying to find him on YouTube and I can't find him
Yeah, he changed his name not long after his daughter was born, if I remember correctly.
because his daughter's
Oh.
called Ex Machina, like
Maybe,
you know,
yeah.
like every daughter wants to be named that. Yeah, okay. So actually let me give him a shout out because I should. This is the story of how I would come into Vex's orbit.
Mm.
That sounded far more sinister than I intended. Copa Ex Machina, or Copa Catania as he was known then, which also brought on a major discussion about Sicily and wine. And once we'd had that discussion, I obviously knew we were going to be friends.
Oh.
Through Copa, I found out about your Monday night stream. What's it called now? It's got a name, isn't it?
It's Mischief Mayhem Movie,
That's it.
MMM. But I
Mischief.
think at the time that I had just joined MMM, actually, at the time that you would have met Copa, because I only came on in end of October 2022. And I think it was a couple months later that you and Copa connected, because that would have been when Avatar 2 was coming out, I'm assuming, is when you guys.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
probably is what caused the the nature of that
Yeah. So
discussion.
I was fresh on MMM, and they were still trying to find their legs for that show. And then yeah, I guess that's how we connected then. Yeah, because Cannoli had you on, because Copa really liked you, and he had a lot of good things to say about you. And he's like, "Oh, you should have this guy on the channel," because Cannoli was still running the Cannoli Connection on Fridays, where he was
That's right.
interviewing people. Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, I think I just did a interview with Cannoli. Actually, I've done 2 interviews now. I've done one with. So this led to a whole, like, it's funny if you did a big tree flowchart of this, like in a graphic, it would be quite interesting to see. Put timelines, dates.
Yeah.
Lance and Copa argue about Avatar, leads to Cannoli Sasquatch Productions, leads to Lance's first appearance. And I remember I was always trying to come up with a new gag every time I was on your guys' channel. I'd do something.
I really enjoy that. I think that's what solidified my my liking for you, Lance, is that every time you came on, you just, it wasn't like, there's people that come on and they force trying to be funny or engaging or something, but it felt so organic coming from you, and it made me laugh every single time.
I feel my natural stupidity normally outweighs any
That might be it, yeah.
scripted efforts on my
Sweetly stupid Lance, there you go.
on my behalf. there's a major discussion about Deadpool coming up. Canoli knows not to invite me to those because I just try to avoid anything to do with superheroes. Although I did.
Oh, I was wondering because we haven't had you on in a little while. So
Well, I
was
wanted to
wondering.
do. You guys did Inside Out, which I was proper gutted. I wasn't on that one.
Yeah, I
but
think we had a full panel for that one. That's
yeah,
why.
you were around on that. Yeah, so yeah, great channel with a really diverse range of people. Obviously, as a result of that, I met actor Michael Cera. I mean, Gord King. Yeah, and Gord King, I love Gord King, man. And it's great as well. His channel was really quite small when I met him, just like under 100 subs, I think.
Oh yeah, he was under 100 when we all met him. Yep.
Already now on 1200, but he's also got his Gordish Memes channel, which I think is nearly at 5k. So he's got a second channel which basically has lots of exploding pumpkins and Joe Biden on it.
I did have a YouTube channel when I joined MMM.
Do you have one now?
I have one now, yeah, but like I barely had a YouTube channel when I joined MMM.
I'm more used to kind of seeing you on other people's channels than
Yeah.
I don't think I've been on your channel.
I don't stream on my channel, that's why.
Right. It's all just
because they found me through because I was doing a podcast like on Spotify, Apple, all that stuff, and that's how they found me. And they wanted me to have me on the Canoli Connection on Friday, and
right. Oh, someone's eating their microphone.
Yeah.
They
wanted to have me on the Friday Canoli Connection, and then we just got along so well that they were like, "Hey, we should add her to MMM." And then in December 2022, it was like December 27th or December 28th, I posted my first ever YouTube video on a channel that I now no longer post on. And then I started the current channel in May 2023 when The Little Mermaid came out.
I don't know if this is the channel that you're talking about, but if anyone wants to know how, if anyone wants to know how Vex was born, you know, the story with the meteorite, the radioactivity, and all that sort of stuff. This is the origins story of how her special powers were gained. But that's not your channel. That's on someone else's channel.
Yeah, Ryan Roger Athe, who's also a phenomenal guy. If anyone has not tuned into him.
Oh, okay, good. I wasn't sure if that was the one you were talking about. So I was
no, you're good. You're good.
I was being a bit coy there. I got that already, and so here's the Vex Electronica already at 5,800 subs. So you know, and yeah, you talk about various things. Quite a lot of ranting, I think.
Yeah, I've shifted the channel in a different direction with the last two videos. I'm sure you're aware. It's like because Drinker does this too. It's just kind of like chase whatever is going to be popular or whatever everyone's talking about on socials. And for a while, that's kind of what I was doing, with the exception of a few like the Continental video or Scott Pilgrim. But I just don't want to do that anymore. It's so absolutely exhausting to put energy into that kind of content. So now I just review what I genuinely want to review. If it happens to be negative, I mean, that's just the way it is. That's just my perception of it, right? But it's something that I want to talk about, and that's the big difference. So
it's quite funny how I felt myself slipping into the dark side of the Force. I'll put it politely. Recently,
with Acolyte,
yeah, because I have always focused predominantly on things I want to promote, things whether that's an older show or you know, or something I think is going to be good. But
whatever fits your interests, yeah.
Yeah, but of course I am a big Star Wars fan, always have been. You know, and I hate this this narrative that some people are pandering that's like you can't be a Star Wars fan now if you're a 50-year-old white guy. It's not allowed. It's not being made for you anymore. And that was kind of, that narrative was being pushed a bit. And I thought, well, I'm not going to jump on the hating bandwagon here. It may well turn out that this is quite good. You know, this because I sort of heard about the premise of the show, and I thought, is it 100 or 1,000 years before whenever? I can't remember, but it's a long time before, you know, Skywalkers are around or anybody like that. So I thought it would be good to see. Yes, Smilex, I'm seeing you. So you're all good. You're all
Sean,
good,
we
mate.
see you. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, all good. Thanks for tuning in, by the way. For the record, I've never come into Vex's orbit, but I try on a daily basis. I dread to think what that means. Yeah, I like to give things the benefit of the doubt. I mean, I do want the channel to grow, so there's always that temptation to kind of try and review stuff that you think people are going to want to watch. But I don't just pander to that. The proof being that, you know, I'll live stream my niche gaming interests, which almost no one's going to watch. So, but I'll still live stream it because it just gives me a focus. So I did a breakdown of the Acolyte, and it was quite soul destroying. I found it really actually the show quite depressing to watch, because it really just showed how people can destroy something so badly, and I was quite annoyed with them. But so I found myself getting drawn into that, and it really was a good analysis of the dark side of the Force. You know, don't go down the path. Hate leads to anger. Anger leads to YouTube rantings. YouTube rantings leads to views, and then you'll get consumed. And I just thought, I don't. So I mean, I'm not planning on doing more stuff about it. I had thought about doing a big. I might do this video more about script writing and I'm going to take a very, very basic movie, and I was going to do why Invasion USA, Chuck Norris has better writing than the Acolyte. That was going to be the and that's a, you know, I mean, I'm a sucker for Invasion USA. It's a fun naff B movie, but the key is it is fun. Acolyte, watching the Acolyte was like having my toenails pulled out, you know.
Oh yeah.
Quite painful experience. Now, so just to look at what other things we do, and I've done, I've just promoted other people's channels for half an hour, so I think I'm entitled to talk about my own one for a little bit. The Nielsen ratings, of course, we do every Tuesday. And again, we always try to focus on the positive or stuff we want to recommend. Occasionally, we'll talk about stuff that we thought was going to be good but was rubbish, like you say, Vex. You don't know, do you? And then the episodes called Chew the Fat are always a longer, sort of more detailed analysis of a show, normally talking about how and where it was filmed, why it was filmed a certain way, the logistics involved, lots of Vex trivia. So the Band of Brothers one I'm particularly proud of, because we've had somebody who worked behind the scenes on that. They've all got quite nice views. Some of them are over 1,000, which is lovely. Yeah, we've got lots of like photographs that people have never seen before from behind the scenes, which have been provided to us by the Inside Man. Yeah, really like doing those. And then of course we're doing House of Dragon every week, which is a real joy to talk about because it's so good.
Yes, it's wonderful.
And I'm doing that tomorrow at 11:30 after the interview with Nikki Marshall, which I think will be a very, a strict hour. I don't think I'll have her on for too long. And she's supposed to be sending me a link to her movie, Summer of Violence, to watch today. So, which isn't widely available yet. It's kind of doing the film festival circuit. But the new thing that we've got coming up is I'm going to be doing a detailed breakdown of Spartacus with Andy Whitfield, season 1, which is really because sadly, of course, we lost Whitfield to cancer right after he completed this show. This show is really his legacy. And I think it's a fantastic show. It's very, very well written. It is very adult. There is no punches pulled with either the violence or the sexual content.
Mhm.
So people should know that going in if they haven't seen it before.
Lucy Lawless is in this as well, is she?
Yeah, it's the acting role of her career.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, okay, I gotta see
So
her.
her and John Hannah, their scenes together are amazing. And I met John Hannah, and he did actually agree to come on, but when we went to book him, his agent said no. So we don't know what happened there. But I met him in person, and I was telling him, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this detailed breakdown of Spartacus. I'd love you to come on and do a watch party of episode 2, which is really the episode where we get introduced to Batiatus's character.
Mm-hmm.
And he was all over it. He loved it. He couldn't talk about it enough. He's like, it's the best thing I've ever done. It's the favorite thing I've ever done. You know, it's and of course they got to shoot a prequel series of 6 episodes while Andy Whitfield was fighting his cancer, because they wanted to bring Whitfield back for season 2. So they delayed season 2 and they shot a prequel series with Lawless and Hannah's characters as the leads, because their characters were so popular.
Mm.
So if you've never seen it and you're going to watch it, you should watch the prequel series first, because then you're watching them in the right order. A bit like if you've never seen Star Wars, watch Rogue One before you watch the original trilogy, if you want to see them in the right order, you know.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So it is a really good show. And then when we've done season 1 of Spartacus, in September, we'll be starting The Shield, which is also a show I absolutely love. The writing in it is amazing. And I'm doing a special on the movie, the 1968 film, The Battle of Britain, with Michael Caine and a whole host of other big British names. That is actually on the anniversary of the height of the Battle of Britain.
Oh,
So
wow.
we're doing it on the 15th of September, which was the height of the Battle of Britain. That date is the anniversary. And I've just bought a special book for that. In fact, guys, I've got to show you this book, even though I know Retro loves World War II minutiae. It's very much up her street. But look at this book. I got this book on Amazon. It's, as you can see, it's very old.
Look at that beautiful binding. Wow.
Yeah, and the guy who recommended it, Blibbity Blop, who's going to be my guest, he's a Battle of Britain historical expert. He's going to be my guest on that stream. He said, "Have you read this book by this person?" And I was like, "No, I don't happen to own that one." So it covers the battle. Hang on, I'm going to enlarge my screen for a sec so you guys can see this properly, because I think it will be of minor interest. Let me just what's going on? Oh, there we go. Okay, yeah. So the book is like this. Day by day, it lists all the aircraft that were shot down on both sides and the names of all the pilots.
That's crazy.
That is really nice.
So I was thinking, let me turn to the 15th of, and there's all these amazing photographs of the Blitz and everything. I mean,
when was this published?
In the 60s, I think.
Wow.
And I mean, this guy has gone really hardcore, into the detail of this. And it's literally the battle day by day. So I was thinking, right, let me, if he says the height of the battle was on the 15th of September, let me get to that in the book and see, because on most pages, you've got a day and there'll be, like I showed you just then, there'll be 2 sort of short lists of casualties. And so, for example, this is the 14th of September. So these are all the people that were lost on RAF Fighter Command on the 14th, right?
Goodness.
And then,
way to show the devastation.
And that's the Luftwaffe losses, okay?
Oh, wow.
On the next page. But if you go to the 15th, which was the height of the Battle of Britain,
Lord.
Yeah, well, so on the 15th of September, the British losses of RAF Fighter Command start here on this page,
Mhm.
right? And then over the page, wait for it.
Oh man.
So on the left is the British, and then this column here, this is the Germans, where the German losses start.
Oh, wow.
That was the day that broke the back of Luftwaffe, and this is the next two pages
Oh my.
of the German losses. And it's funny because you see everything that happened there, and then the following day the losses are just that, because
Oh.
almost no one could put anything in the air because
Oh.
they lost so much. And yeah, you got photographs of these guys as they were. It's an incredible book. The detail of it. I don't know how I'm going to read it all between now and then, but I'm going to try. And it's all just factual stuff. One thing after one day after the next. It's the whole battle day by day, basically. So that's going to be really helpful for that stream. That's going to be an interesting stream on the 15th of September. When this arrived, it was so heavy. I thought, well, is there a gold bar in there? Or
There's a gold bar of information.
Yeah.
Treasure trove.
Treasure trove of information.
Yeah. No, that's human history is incredible, and I think a story like that really deserves to be remembered and told and documented. So yeah, I'm into it. Yeah.
I don't know if anyone has seen it yet, but talking of Spartacus, a new 10-part show has just dropped on Amazon. I'm going to talk about it on the Nielsen ratings.
Oh, what show?
And it's got two of my favorite actors in it, but it's also got a friend of mine in it. It's also got another actor who was originally attached to be in Pegasus Bridge, my movie. So there's a whole host of reasons why and that's called Those About to Die. It's produced by Roland Emmerich of Independence Day fame. It's currently on Amazon Prime, 10 episodes. It's got Ewan Rion from Game of Thrones.
When did this come out?
Literally just dropped this week.
Oh, okay. I've not seen, because I have a Prime subscription. I haven't seen this pop up in the marketing whatsoever. It's not on my homepage. So
2 days ago it came out. So my friend Adrian is in the show, and they shot it in Malta, and I think they may well have been filming on the same sets of Gladiator 2. Because I know this time around, when they came back to build the Colosseum set for Gladiator 2, I think Malta Film Studios this time wanted it to be a permanent set.
Oh, Malta's where they shot the first one. Anyways, I think you showed us pictures of the set.
I took you to the Google Earth, didn't I? Where they shot it. Actually, do you know what? We should go and have a quick peek because there might be some different sets up now.
Maybe it's been updated. Yeah.
Yeah, but this is again, it's kind of a Spartacus type thing because those about to die, we salute you, is what they used to say. I guess this is one of the actors coming out of this trailer. There's Ewan Rion, who I absolutely love, and Ewan Rion is almost the spitting image of Dickon, who co-founded the Outcasts with me, the actual sort of drama school side of it. And the funny thing is they were also in their first film together. Wild Bill was Ewan Rion's first feature film appearance, and Dickon and him are both in the same gang in that movie. So, but I mean, it's got a good cast. So, shall we have a look and see what the initial reviews are? It's currently trending at 6.1 on IMDb. I'll just show you So Rupert Penry Jones, who played that cool vampire in that Del Toro vampire thing set in New York. He's like the vampire that's on the good guy's side. He was attached to do Pegasus Bridge. Let me see if I can find my friend here. Not quite as high profile as some people, so he'll be further down the cast list. Adrian Boucher, but he's doing very well, is Adrian. So this is Adrian, who I know. He was in my friend James's Predator fan film the Predator Dark Ages movie. He's like the lead in that. So he's in Those About to Die. Let's have a.
What a title.
It is a good title, isn't it?
Yeah.
What do we know what the title is from? Like, is this from a saying?
No,
Roman
yeah, because
saying, or-
it's what was said in the Gladiator in the
Gotcha.
arena.
Okay.
Those about to die, we salute you. That was
Okay.
what they used to say before the gladiators took sort of went into to
I
fight.
wonder why it's only sitting at a 6.1.
Let's look at some of the headlines. I don't want to read out any spoilers because I haven't seen it yet. It's not great, but it's something. Frequently shoddy editing coupled with a truly atrocious script writing.
Wow.
The show is held together by strong performances. It's an epic show and fantastic, flamboyant insight into the workings of ancient Rome. I'm not going to complain about the abundant CGI because there's going to be abundant CGI on anything that's to do with Rome.
These days, yeah.
Yeah.
And
they have lions too, so they're
So
animals.
this person's getting into this is like me talking about the wrong types of chimneys on Masters of the Air. This person's talking about the wrong types of horses being used. I think that's come on. A horse needs to have 4 legs and can hold a rider. That's I guess if you're a horse person, you probably know these things. Worth a watch, 7 out of 10. Despite the epic scenes, some of the CGI comes across as a bit clunky. Clunky is also a good description for some of the acting. I'm rather surprised to see Anthony Hopkins headlining this sword and sandals tale. Missed by a mile. Don't know about that. Just that sounds like somebody who just watched the trailer. Good, but needs to be better at everything if there's going to be a season 2. It's far from a masterpiece, but it's definitely entertaining, and some episodes even show glimpses of something that could be great, but it does need some work.
Oh,
2 out of 10, a missed opportunity.
is Roland Emmerich the writer and director of the series, or is this the showrunner? Or
Good question. Let's have a look. It's created by Robert Rodat, but it's definitely being sold on Emmerich's name. Let's get the full cast, and I got that wrong, but it's on the poster. Yeah, there you go. Directed by Roland Emmerich, 5 episodes. So he directed it, but he's not the creator of it. I thought he created it and he was directing some of it, but he's directing. So he's actually a director for hire on this. Then that's
interesting.
I guess Moon, whatever Moon was that movie called? Moon Cluster Crash or whatever.
Oh, the moon is falling movie thing, right?
Yeah.
I know which one you're talking about.
Oh yeah, that movie.
That film is like, what else can we throw in this movie? Let's do it.
Yeah.
This is the other director, so I'm guessing this is him on set with Anthony Hopkins. Yeah, there we go, on the set of Those About to Die. You've got to get a picture with Hopkins if you're directing Hopkins.
Yeah.
So he's directed quite a lot of straightforward drama. I haven't seen the Lazarus Project. Bodies wasn't for me, but a lot of people really liked it. And then some other bits and pieces. So yeah, I haven't seen a lot of his
So
work.
it's mediocre according to everybody.
Yeah.
I'll reserve judgment until I've seen it. I'm definitely going to watch it because it's historical, and I'll certainly watch the first 3 episodes. And if it's not grabbing me by then, I may not make it to the end. But I plan on watching some of it today.
Oh.
So, what? Ooh, what? What do you?
I just said ooh because that I didn't know you were going to watch it today. That's cool.
Yeah, I'll probably, after we've done our Band of Brothers stream, this will probably be the thing I'll watch before I go to bed. Probably watch like a couple of eps. Yeah, but we shall see. Have you guys tuned into anything new that you want to recommend? Michael Sarah in the chat.
Hey, Gord.
It's always good to see.
Hi, Gord King.
We love Gord King.
I keep going on and on about Now I can't remember it.
Going on and on about that thing that I just can't remember. That's really good. It's so good, I can't remember it.
Scavenger's Reign. There it is. A few
Oh,
laps
yeah.
later.
I've
Scavenger's Reign and Blood of Zeus. They're really good. Oh, Blood of Zeus season 2, and I really loved it.
Is Blood of Zeus also an animation?
It is. It is an animation. I really enjoyed season 1, and season 2 did not disappoint. So I kind of like all that big, larger than life stuff. It's
Scavenger's Reign is probably the best thing that came out last year between film and I love that show. Like, that's a top 3 for me already.
I never thought I'd
I'm
watch
with
a
you.
movie where, a animated TV series where I'd see a human being climb inside an alien animal's orifice and it actually have a cool logic behind that act happening. Not something that I could say on Retro's channel yesterday. Yeah, I mean, Scavenger's Reign is just incredibly original. I just like the style of the animation.
Me too. I mean, they really hit all cylinders with this creation design. There were so many surprises. Not a lot of dialogue. As much as we hear a lot of people talk about dialogue. This was really a visual storytelling.
Yeah,
and it works. It works so well.
Yeah,
And it came out last year on HBO Max or Max. I'm not sure if it was Max just yet. But and now it's on Netflix and doing very well on Netflix, much better than it did on Max. So
they didn't market this at all when it was on Max. Like, I think I pleasantly came across this when it was still premiering, and so did Enzo. And I was blown away that hold on, it came out the same time as Ahsoka. There was a little bit of overlap with Ahsoka, and I remember everyone was talking about that. So maybe that's why they didn't market it. Maybe they just didn't have faith in it, but like severely underrated. I'm glad it's getting an audience on Netflix.
Yeah.
If Netflix does renew it, I hope that they have no bloody hand in the production of it. If Netflix does anything great, it's ruined an IP that they onboard instead of create. So I would rather that they just let the series creators do what they got to do, because they've got 8 or 9 seasons planned in their heads.
These things were just awesome, and they're like this kind of like herds of them, and then you've got the creatures that clean them and whatnot, and there's so much about this show. This character was voiced by Wunmi Masoka, who's a brilliant actress, fantastic British actress. But yeah, it's as you guys say, it's, by the way, a moth that looked exactly like this landed on my ceiling the other day.
No, just freak out.
Fortunately, the spider up there got him. So
good. See, sometimes spiders, even though I hate spiders, they help.
Yeah. I was just about to get the broom to whack him, and I suddenly saw he got stuck, and I was like, oh, there's a tiny cobweb up there. I didn't see. Okay, I'll leave him to his fate and see what happens. In the morning, neither he nor the cobweb was anything where to be seen. So
there's something about this show kind of reminds me of a movie that I recently reviewed, the Time Masters. And the planet is a lot like this, where it's like you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if a flower is really a flower. It's just that insane. Like everything could either hurt you or help you. You just don't know. You just don't know. And it's all like beautifully done. Like it's actually pretty amazing to look at. So you're looking at this thing that's gorgeous, and then all of a sudden it eats you. It's just like,
someone recommended Gooch recommended Time Masters to me for that reason, because he's like, you loved Scavenger's Reign, you'll probably enjoy this. So that's a second recommendation now. I'll definitely watch it.
I'm going
to add that to my list as well. Maybe the three of us should come back and see if none of us have seen it yet.
Yeah,
you guys
really
come back and we could do a special stream. I could do a Chew the Fat episode on it and get you guys back, and we could all talk about what we thought about it. That film came out. Is it the 1982 one? Is that the one we're talking about?
I think it's 1982.
I mean,
Yeah, I just reviewed it on my channel. You probably will see
oh,
it.
so you've seen it, Retro?
Yeah, I've seen it, reviewed it, and dissected it.
Oh, it's a French movie.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
Renee.
I hadn't looked into it at all. I've just seen the posters for it.
Yeah. Oh, it's wild. It's wild.
What's
I
the
do.
premise for this?
Well, the premise. How can I say it? And okay, there's a family that is on this rogue planet, and the parents get they unfortunately meet their demise, but the little boy survives, and he has a transmission. He talks to these people on a ship who are coming to his aid to try to help him, and they they're trying to tell him stay where you are, you know, and once on this planet there are just so many different creatures and things they're trying to get at this little boy. It's really super scary, and then they have to go down to the planet, and it's a whole nother thing. I don't want to give away any of the secrets, but it is so entertaining and satisfying by the end too. Very satisfying by the end. You can also find it here on YouTube. I believe there's a few copies.
Oh, great.
It will be in French, but you'll just read the subtitles. It should work.
Yeah, I'd rather see it with the original actor's voice.
Yes, same here. Yeah.
Than some dubs.
Yeah, there's some good ones, but the same director did a movie that I absolutely love, which is has two titles. The French title is Gandahar, and the English version is Light Years. And it's another one where you're kind of on this weird planet, and it's just trippy. And he's the same director that did the it's not Forbidden Planet. It's the other one that I can't think of it. But
did Light Years come out in 2019?
No, it's old. we all retro.
Right, so it's not. I mean, because you said it's kind of trippy and weird, and about this other planet. So when I saw this poster, I thought, yeah, that looks pretty trippy and weird.
Oh, that looks interesting.
What is this about?
I have no idea, but I feel that lots of drugs were consumed in order to make the film.
Okay, I want to see this. There was also another movie that there's quite a few interesting things that are out there, but yeah, those are kind of the one that was the one that really stood out to me. Scavenger's Reign.
This one is a 30-something-year-old man goes on an annual cosmic vision quest to visit a dead friend. He gets a stick, but a stick gets stuck in the spokes of his psychedelia, and in every face, friend and family alike, his own looks back at him, all but his dead friend. That does not sound like a fun day. I'm not sure I want to watch that one. What year was? Maybe if I go on to let me click on the director's resume on this page. And
yes, he did. He also did Fantastic Planet, which was 1973. Time Masters is 1972, and Gandahar is 1987. Now, Gandahar has two different versions. One is the one that he did, and then there's another version that was the Light Years, which was actually manipulated by Harvey Weinstein, and stars Glenn Close. It's not a bad version, but the French is much better because you can hear like certain changes and acting nuances in their voices in the original language, and it's actually kind of interesting to see the translation for that too.
I bet the director was well upset with the Harvey Scissorhands version.
Yeah, they did change. There was an issue with the nudity because of course in a lot of these movies there's a lot of nudity. They didn't really care, and then there was some changes to just like the words that were being said. So
This looks amazing. I've got to watch this, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are really fun.
What's going on here? What's going
Different,
what's going on
different.
here?
Yeah, very different and unique. Like people are, incredible creativity being used and accessed here.
Is this Time Master still?
No,
No.
this is actually Gandhar.
Same
And
director.
How do you spell that? G.
Gandahar. Gandahar. Looks like a great movie.
Oh, it's fun.
Well, let me go to the chat because we got a lot of comments here that I'm missing. So, oh my god, it's a whole load of stuff. I think Gord King of course said hi, Lance and ladies. Great to see you. Lance Wise, Vexon, you need less white women on your channel. Don't even know what he means by that, but it is a joke.
It's because I don't sound like this. I don't sound like I could fix your computer. That's why.
For anybody who hasn't seen Vex in person, she's not white. Just so you know. Quarter Mexican and about 50 other things. Anti-derivative Jill, fantastic planet.
Yes, thank you. She remembered.
Fantastic planet. So Fantastic Planet is different from Gandahar, right?
Yes, it's different, and it's just one. I mean, really amazing. If I can talk about it more, like all day and all night, I would. It's incredible.
Okay, adding that to the list too, then.
Yes, definitely.
Oh, look at this. £20 super chat.
Aw.
Happy second anniversary,
Oh,
channel
wow.
anniversary. We'll pop in later. I'm only
Hi,
going to
Tommy.
be on. Only going to be on for about another hour, mate. So don't leave it too late. I'm not doing like a mega stream this time around because, retro has things to do. Yeah.
Sure.
So, but I've got my Band of Brothers stream later, so that's also part of the whole 2-year anniversary week extravaganza. Started to watch a movie last night. I thought it started out well. Anesthesia, directed by Tim Blake Nelson. I'll finish it later. Okay. So I've got to watch. Man, I need to write these down. So Gandahar and Fantastic Planet is the Fantastic Planet the Harvey Weinstein one, or is
No, okay. So Gandhar, if you get to see that one, that is done in the original language by Renee Lulu. And then if you see Light Years, which is the English version, that is the one that is. And I look, I watched it, and it's okay. I mean, there's a reason why he was in business. He knows how to make films, but it doesn't have the same. Oh, what can I say? Amazing, like touch, because of having to edit it in a certain way to make it more okay for Americans. Now, what they did though add that I thought was really cool was they added some like new wave music to it. Some of that really cool kind of music from the 80s. So I was like, oh, okay, I do love the music that they added, but the original version, Gandhar, is got the perfect everything. That's how the story really should be told.
Fantastic Planet's animation style is like Monty Python. So I've got to see all of these. I've got to see all of these. But I don't mind that style of animation. It's got its time and place, definitely. I need to write these titles down. Let me. So this is all the work of the director René Laloux. I pronounce that right.
If you get a chance to, because since we're talking about animation, I did do a watch party for The Hobbit, the original Hobbit from 1977. It was such a treat.
Is that
it was such a treat.
Is that the weird Russian one?
No. This is the one done in 1977. Ralph Bakshi.
Ralph Bakshi, yeah.
And it was it's just it was just a pure joy watching it again. I was like, oh, this is so good.
I've seen it. It's great. I really like Ralph Bakshi's Lord of the Rings, and it's such a shame that they didn't get to finish it.
Oh, there were supposed to be more installments?
Yeah, well, it basically ends with the siege of Helm's Deep being lifted and Gandalf coming
Oh,
down.
why did they not?
They ran out of money, and the first film didn't make enough to for him to get the second one.
Yeah.
But and they it was really interesting because they did that whole rotoscoping technology thing to animate real live actors for certain scenes, and it had a really interesting style. I really quite liked it.
I kind of like the way they used rotoscoping in that. It's just kind of like an interesting way to use it. There's lots of creativity happening there. It's not like your average like animation or like really thinking outside the box.
Well, have to come back to that at some point. Going to go back and mention a couple of other things on my channel, if I may.
Sure.
As we start to head into the final section. The other thing I've been doing is Best of British Drama. I've got a huge list of stuff I've got to put on here. And so far, I can't believe I've only done 6 streams. I've done a really detailed breakdown of Our Friends in the North, which I did with Dark Owl. That was the first time we collabed together. And then I did gut reaction reviews of 2 dramas that I thought were both good. But I've got about 20 that I want to review and break down on there, all of which are really, really, really good. They're all true story. This is the stuff we do really well. These true story dramas, they're usually in the crime genre. There's a 2 or 3 that are particularly good about the hunt for various serial killers, which I know sounds a bit morbid, but these are extremely well-made British productions that are very gripping and well worth watching. One of them, a 2-parter, is currently on Netflix, and it's well worth watching, and it's called Honor. And it's about an honor killing that happened within a certain community, not the Asian community or Indian community, but this was different entirely, and so it was very difficult for the British detectives to penetrate that community and actually find out what happened to this woman. But that I just saw that literally has just dropped on Netflix, and if you guys, those of you that are out there who like your true crime, it's worth watching. It stars Keely Hawes and Mark Stanley, who many people will recognize from Game of Thrones as one of the Watchers on the Wall. And I see my guest in the green room. I'll be with you in just a sec. Yeah, this is it. And I just rewatched it again the other night. I saw it when it first came out. Like I say, it's a true story. It's really, really good. Really good.
This is a Pakistani community that does honor killings.
No. Well, they do, but no, this was it wasn't that. And I think there's a drama being made about.
It's only 2 episodes.
Yeah, it's only 2 episodes, so not a big commitment. True story. This is set within it's something like the Albanian or one of those smaller
Eastern
countries.
European.
Yeah.
Okay.
And a certain group within that as well.
Have you have either of you seen the Pembrokeshire murders with
that's another one that I want to do a best of British on.
Okay. That's been on my watch list for a while because I think Luke Evans is kind of an underrated actor personally. But yeah, I've been meaning to check that out because I do like British drama is very good at the murder mystery investigation stuff, which I quite like.
Well, while we're on that subject, I'll recommend 2 more, and I'm just gonna I'm always in need of the gooch. What's with this big what's with this big tash thing guy? Hang on,
that's called being lazy during the summer. That's what that's called.
Let's go full screen on the tash here, so we can just get the.
Yeah,
I'm used to seeing you clean.
Starting to get the look going.
I like the way that you've kind of like you've dyed your hair. The dye's dripped down to the
Oh
and
yeah,
it didn't quite make it to the beard.
And here I was coming in nice. I was coming in nice to wish you a happy 2-year anniversary, and I get this. Hey, look at this. Like,
I'm just being supportive of your new look. I like the the gradual turn from dark to light.
Yeah.
It
How's
looks
everyone?
good, actually. I like the mustache thingy you got going. It works.
I
Yeah.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, well, I'm just meeting. Am I just meeting you for the first time? I think I've never.
No.
Good.
No.
Yeah. You look fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think you've met Scoop before. He's in disguise, so you wouldn't recognize.
Yeah.
Hence the beard.
Yeah. On the trivia, a couple
Trivia,
yeah.
Yeah, he was on. That was on the last anniversary. We did a movie trivia thing, which I probably won't be. I'm going to do the quiz, I think, as a separate thing.
Okay.
Oh, I love the quiz.
Me too.
I might do a little quiz maybe, but no, I want to do. I guess I haven't had enough time to prep it with all the clips and all of that stuff. I'm also a bit worried about the stream getting blocked when I show the clips. And I like to show the movie clips, so I'm trying to figure out a way around that. But it will come to me.
But seriously, happy 2-year anniversary, buddy.
Thank you.
Couldn't be happening to a nicer guy. And it's your birthday too, like double celebration. So
yeah, it was my birthday on Thursday. I'll be celebrating that properly at Frantic at Ministry of Sound on the 27th of July with the Solo Raver crew.
Nice.
So that's going to be fun.
Ministry of Sound has been like a bucket list event for me to attend at some point in my life.
Well, Vex, I've got 2 tickets. So if you want to jump on a plane.
I don't have a passport right now. The U.S. consulate has it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's well, what can I tell you?
That and Printworks London was another one, but they shut down. But I do see that they are getting ready to open at a different location. So
yeah, I mean, there's at the minute, because like day raves is the new thing, because everybody over 30 wants to go raving again, and a lot of the people are like way older than me that turn up at these events, and I'm getting there. So I do still have all my hair, fortunately.
You know what? Yeah, bucket list now is to go raving with Lance.
I think that's on everyone's bucket list, and so it should be.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Yeah,
bring the gooch to UK.
You know what we need to do? We need to organize a YouTubers like London meetup, so you guys can all come for that en masse, and then that can be on like the Friday evening or something, or on the Friday, and then on the Saturday, I will time it so that there's one of these Solo Ravers events, and then we'll all go to that, and then on between Sunday and Wednesday there'll be no movement. Everyone will be sleeping. that period. But Sandy's in the chat. Sandy, you have been sent the link via your Twitter if you want to come on. So you can pop in if you want to come on.
You guys were talking about shows that you'd been watching.
Yeah, we would. I was just. I mean, well, I'm just kind of segueing it into my channel content. One of the things I'm going to be doing is more stuff on Best of British Drama, because I am half British. I feel I should fly the flag occasionally. And there are a couple of dramas in particular that I want to give shout outs to, and 2 of them both star Sheridan Smith. They're both available, I think, on ITVX, but I don't know if that's how far that goes in terms of access. And then, but these are all true crime dramas. They're normally about between 4 to 6 episodes long, and I'm going to do Chew the Fat or just even Best of British kind of review things on them. I'll mention 3 of them in turn. So the first one stars Stephen Graham, who you guys would all know, of course, from Boiling Point and a million other things. So this is the true story of the murder of Rhys Jones, who's portrayed there in the middle photograph. He was cycling back through a car park from a football practice when he actually got between this kid who was riding on his bike called Sean Mercer, who fired a gun at two rival gang members because of an altercation that had taken place the day before. And he just happened to be riding past. One of the bullets ricocheted and caught him.
I remember hearing about this. This was in the
Yeah.
early 2000s, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it was a huge case because the group of kids that were all involved in the gang all tried to intimidate witnesses and stuff like that, so that no one would speak up against them. Stephen Graham plays the very gritty, determined cop who was determined to bring Sean Mercer to justice, and ultimately he did. And the people of the city of Liverpool really got behind these parents as well. It was a murder that shocked so many people, and so it's the true story of the investigation that followed. I think it's 4 episodes. I want to say like 4 45-minuters. It is more gripping than The Acolyte. It's got better lightsaber fights, and I'm joking about that, but it is definitely more gripping than The Acolyte. 4 episodes, and yeah, it's a really, really good. It's like I say, it's the kind of thing that the UK drama content we do really well. I was one of the first people to review it on IMDb. Slightly different one that came out around the same time, The Moor Side, and these next two both star Sheridan Smith, who's one of our best actresses in the UK next to Olivia Colman. This is the true story of when Shannon Matthews went missing, and I don't want to spoil it too much for you guys that don't know the story behind this, but you will have all heard about Madeleine McCann. When Madeleine McCann went missing in Spain, this little white girl from a very middle class English family, and it was mass exposure, mass police interest, media interest. When Shannon Matthews went missing from a Derbyshire town, working class housing estate, or as you guys would call them in America, the projects, no one cared. And one of the best friends of Shannon Matthews' mother made sure it got in the press. She campaigned really hard to make sure it became a
I remember
public
this
interest
case as
story.
well. This was also the early 2000s.
It is, and then there was a big twist that happened, and I don't want to spoil it for people that don't know the true story. It's a really, really well-made drama. I think again, it's probably 4 parts. You can currently catch it on ITVX. I want to say, let's just have a quick look. I want to say 4 parts, or is it just 2? Oh, is it just 2 parts? So I think it's got to be each episode's definitely an hour. Okay. So it's feature film length. I mean, they might even be 2 90 minutes. Because sometimes when we did 2-parters back in the day, they were like two 90-minute parts. Sandy is in the house.
Hi, Sandy.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. Lance, congratulations on 2 years.
Thank you so much. Sandy is my resident American Civil War historian, but I'm currently doing World War II at the minute with my gaming stuff. So she frequents those a lot less. I'll have to go back to my American Civil War.
That's okay. I do all the wars, but I tend to gravitate toward the American Revolution, 1812, and the Civil War because they were fought in my backyard. So that's why. It's great to meet all of you. And Lance, I just wanted to say congratulations. I can't hang out for long. I'll hang out for a little bit, but I've so enjoyed your streams, and I've really enjoyed. Thank you for having me join along with you. As you know, history is my thing. Yeah. And I've really enjoyed our conversations.
Well, I'd quite like to do a chew the fat on depictions of the American Civil War on film and television in the dramatic narrative. That's a special I thought about, and straight away I thought, oh, I've got to have Sandy on for that. So we need to. That'd be quite a long stream, couple of hours. So we need to sit down and.
Days. We could do days on that.
Well, yeah,
I'm in.
we might just go live like all week, but I mean, certainly we'll be covering things like, because I've just rewatched the entire series of North and South, books 1 and 2. That's a commitment, that. And that's the third time I've seen it all the way through. I saw it when it was originally screened on television. I saw it when it first dropped on YouTube, probably about 10 years ago. And then I watched it again recently in preparation for doing something about the portrayal of the American Civil War. Have you been watching the TV series about the assassins of Abraham Lincoln?
No, I haven't. I've been so consumed with my 9-to-5 job, unfortunately, that I haven't had time.
Right.
But back to North and South. So I didn't get a chance to see it when it first ran on television. But you know how I found it? My mom had the hots for Patrick Swayze when she was younger, and she watched it on television. So when I got a little older and into history, she said, "Oh, you got to watch this," and she had it on a
VHS.
VCR tapes.
Yeah.
Nice.
I remember it. It came in, because I used to have it as well, and it came in those kind of double cassette boxes that were, you know, so you had like 2 tapes. And I think also for this show, I think there was a part 1 and part 2 of each season, so there were 4 cassettes in all.
There were 4. It was like you mentioned, it was a book fold out, but ours had 2 on each side.
That's that's it. I remember. Yeah.
Oh, I wish I still had it. Of course,
And
I don't.
those boxes never stayed intact as well.
No.
They were terrible for like falling open and all the cassettes falling out. And well, I think I mean, I could just do one just on North and South, but there's so many. I really want to talk about Glory. I really want to talk about Gettysburg, and then also the second film that they made, which really I thought was quite poor overall.
So those are my 1 and 2. My number 1 is Glory. My number 2 is Gettysburg. My number 3 is Lincoln. So we will have a fantastic conversation about that.
Yeah, Lincoln, until we get into Lincoln, talk about North and South. There was another TV series that not a lot of people remember, which actually came out, I think, before North and South, and that was called The Blue and the Grey.
Blue and the Grey. I knew you were going to say it. Yep.
Yeah, well, I remember that, and I rewatched that not that long ago. You can find all of that on YouTube. Retro's already making notes for retro reviews here. Yeah, that came out in '82. So with Stacey Keach, that's right. The Blue and the Grey recut. God, is there a new version of it? I might have to.
Interesting.
Didn't know that they'd done that. This was a good show. It's not quite as epic as North and South. Didn't quite have the same, but great cast though. Robert Vaughn.
Fantastic cast in both of them. You know, in North and South, you got several future Star Trek actors and actresses. You got Kirstie Alley as Virgilia. You got, of course, George Hazard. Oh God, why can't I think of his name? Riker.
Yeah.
In real life. So Hazard was Riker, of course, Patrick Swayze, and it was of its time, right? It was what it was. For me, my absolute worst depiction of the Civil War is Gone with the Wind.
Right.
So North and South is kind of in the middle there, but that will be a great conversation, Lance. I look forward to that.
Retro, didn't you do a retro review of Gone with the Wind? I think you didn't you?
No, I didn't. I haven't done that yet. I happen to really like that movie. I would love to hear your thoughts on the accuracy of the movie, because it's definitely, you know, one of those controversial movies that people like seem to always bring up. But
I haven't watched it since the first time I saw it on television as a kid, at which point I think I shouted out something like, "Mom, this is boring. There's not enough action."
Oh no!
It is very long.
And I really do need to. That's a film that I need to sit down and reevaluate as an
Mm.
adult.
Mm.
And give it a proper look. But yeah, I haven't. Oh, that's an interesting poster from Russia or somewhere.
Whoa.
But I know I've never seen that poster before. That's a great one. That's like an old the sort of poster you would have got for a show back in that era. But I need to watch this as an adult. I really do, because I haven't seen it since I was a kid.
One of the best scenes in it is when the camera pans up and back, and you're moving farther and farther back, and you're seeing at the field hospital the number of wounded, and the camera keeps going backward, and it's first you see tens of wounded, then you see hundreds, then you see thousands.
Yeah.
That is accurate. That
That-
is what it looked like after the burning of the South.
that was one of the most iconic scenes. You definitely pulled out a really a memorable, incredibly memorable scene in that movie. Wow.
Yeah, I need to watch it again. Am I right in thinking that, now I might have this wrong, but am I right in thinking that when the movie was originally released, it was in black and white, but later there was a colorized version of it, or am I getting that wrong?
I'm not sure.
Don't
Because it
know.
came out in 1939, just before the breakout of World War II.
Well, 1939 they had there was color. I mean,
Color
so,
was available.
So
Yeah.
it was original release was in color.
That I don't know. That you'd have to look, but I don't see why they wouldn't.
So
Is
when
it
you
like
guys
a-
watched it, you saw a color version of the film. That's what I'm
Oh,
asking.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I mean, I think in the 70s we had a black and white TV, and that's like
See, the reason
everything was black and white.
I think it was retouched. Like I think they did a remastered version or like a restored version.
The reason I can't remember seeing it in color as a kid is because I was watching it on the upstairs black and white telly, which is
Okay.
the one that was in my room.
I think it had to be released in color. I don't think some of the scenes would have worked in black and white. Notably, when Scarlett creates her ball gown out of curtains, that has to be a color scene. You have to see
beautiful green, that vibrant
deep
velvet.
green.
Yeah.
I'd love to know. I mean, obviously all the cast of this would be deceased now, but it would have been amazing to interview these two actresses.
Yes.
Who had
absolutely
significant African American roles in a major feature film that was shot in 1939. So we're talking before the era of civil rights and Martin Luther King and all of that. And I would love to hear like what the experience of working on the film was like for them, and I wonder if anybody ever interviewed them later in life before they passed away. That would be really interesting.
I've seen many interviews with them.
Have you?
They talked about stuff like that, yeah.
Oh, that
they didn't really say anything incredibly negative about their experience.
Well, I mean, it'd be nice to know that they were treated well. That'd be great to hear that, actually. But oh yeah, I remember this scene.
I know that Clark Gable was especially nice to Hattie McDaniels. They were very close, even later on. So even after the movie.
It's amazing that they've got so many behind the scenes stills as well. With
Lance
stuff. Yeah.
Gone with the Wind was like the first movie to be shot in Technicolor. So
right.
Wow.
Yeah.
There we go.
I remember it in black and white as well for some reason too. So I wasn't sure either because black and white TVs were around back then. So
Gooch, is it me or does this guy look a bit like you without your beard? On the right?
No, does
Nothing
not look
like
me.
him.
No.
I don't know why I was getting like Dad of Gooch vibes there.
No, not
check
at
his,
all.
check his IMDb, see if he was a milkman around the time you were born. So, yeah. Anyway, so I'm digressing. These costumes are amazing. I'll look at this. Who? I wonder who this kid is, and if he carried on acting.
This is one of my mom's favorite movies of all time.
Oh.
I hated it.
Everybody looks like Clark Gable. Only Clark Gable can rock those trousers. because they are that's an impressive flared pair of trousers. But
everybody wore those pants.
yeah, but he looks. I mean, he looks really dashing in like every still.
Yeah.
Like
He's just
sort of
he's got magnetism,
yeah,
charisma, everything.
I know
perfect
how that
fluid.
feels.
Yeah, man. Yeah, basically like now that Gooch has got his beard, he's rocking the Clark Gable vibe.
Oh, what beautiful scenes!
Yeah, some of these houses must still exist, I would assume, unless some horrible developer came and knocked them down.
That would be a good project for my next journey.
There you go.
South of the Mason-Dixon line, south of the
I'll
border.
tell you what, if no one's ever made a making of, and they probably have, I'll check on Amazon in a second. No one's ever made a big coffee table book of the making of Gone with the Wind. That would be a great book for you to do, Sandy. And then you could, within the book, you could include the historical analysis of why it conflicts with historical sensibilities.
I'll put that on my long list of 7,000 projects waiting for me to retire, Lance. 13 more years, I can retire. And
okay. Well, you don't ever want to
the fun
retire,
stuff.
because if you retire, that's when your body shuts down. And
No, when I retire is when I do what I want to do, all of the fun research stuff that I want to do.
Let's see if right. I'm typing it into Amazon Books. I'm sure.
What I want to know, what are the fun research things you want to do?
Oh, I have unfortunately it's taken me about 7 years to research just about 1.5 years of one particular unit in the Civil War by retracing their steps, by going every single place, because my ancestor was in this unit. And I thought I could do it in about 2 years, the whole 4 years of the Civil War. And after 7 years, I'm nowhere near. So I really want to focus on my ancestors and what they did in all the wars. But I love the projects that I work. My history, for me, it's a full-time hobby. I have a regular everyday office job, and then in every other waking moment, I'm able to do my own research. So I need to be done with the office job.
I don't know why, but I had it in my head that you had some sort of full-time historical job in a museum, and I've got visions of your day job being showing people sort of American Civil War swords and uniforms and things.
I do that in all my spare time. I'm either at the National Archives or the Library of Congress, or at Antietam National Battlefield, or South Mountain. So yeah, I am there, Lance, in every other hour when I'm not sitting in an office.
My Uncle John did that. He was a historian, and especially the Civil War. He actually had, like, his basement was a museum of artifacts from the Civil War, and he had a huge table of the battle, and he was a nuts. And unfortunately, he passed. He had dementia and all that, but he actually was a historian as well. That he loved doing that stuff.
I hope someone took a photo of that table, because
I don't know where it went.
There is a several books on the making of Gone with the Wind, so that's one less project you have to worry about. A great intellectual suggestion here: remake Gooch with the Wind. I can only imagine what that film would be about. But yeah, there's more than one Gone with the Wind book. There's a couple. There's the one by Steve Wilson is the big coffee table one, full of lots of lovely photos, and I think there's a more critical analysis one by Sally Tippett Raines, which has a lesser rating, but I think she's probably gone into more critical detail than perhaps the original.
So Lance, before I head off, because you mentioned Gettysburg, last year Martin Sheen returned to Gettysburg, to the site of the filming, with members of an organization that I belong to, the American Battlefield Trust, and he did some behind the scenes and a chat with Sam not Sam Waterston, the guy who played Lincoln. Why can't I think of names? I'm terrible with names. So those are out there on YouTube, and there's some really nice behind the scenes on the filming and the making of Gettysburg, and the return last year during the anniversary. I guess it was the 30th anniversary of Gettysburg. I feel really old. Hopefully it was just the 20th. During the actual week of the anniversary of the battle. This year was 161 years. So last year would have been 160 years from the actual battle.
wow.
So yeah, it was Martin Sheen, and it was not Tom Berenger or Jeff Daniels in this behind the scenes, but a lot of the folks that I work with through some of my activities were extras on this film, were
Yeah.
involved in this film. They were obviously really young, and I was way too young, but there's some really nice behind the scenes works out there on YouTube.
It is a fantastic movie. This is one of the last soundtracks that I bought on CD, and I still have it. And one of the best soundtracks for a film ever. It was screened in 2 parts when it came out, and I still have my cinema ticket stubs for both parts.
Well, if you're ever in the States during the weekend of July 1st through 4th, which are the dates of the battle, they will play the film at the battlefield, which is an unbelievable experience to watch.
Like an open air screening
Yes.
kind of thing.
Yes.
Oh, that must be amazing. But it's a long. If they're showing both parts together, I hope they have like a series of portaloos left and right along where everyone's sitting for those much needed
Portaloo. I never heard that one. Portaloo.
Yeah, that's what they called it at UK film festivals. This is one of the things that's really particularly poignant about this film is that one of my favorite character actors, I actually considered writing a biography about him, a book about him when I was younger, was Richard Jordan. And he played one of the leading roles in the movie.
I like that actor.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find his. I'm hoping there'll be a still of him at some point.
Every actor in Logan's Run.
That's right. Yeah, played Francis. Every actor that's in this that's got dialogue in all the scenes is like an actor that is, either been in Babylon 5 or some iconic TV series or movie somewhere. So there's so many names in who just came in and did a little part, like this guy in this shot. I forget his name, but he's a major television and film actor. But yeah, Richard Jordan, there he is on the right. He knew he was dying of cancer when he filmed this. And the last scene that they shot with him was the scene where he got shot by the wall during the charge. And Donald Logue, who was not in that scene, but was on set that day because he wanted to see Jordan shoot that scene, said that he told me a story about it, and he said that absolutely everybody was in floods of tears because by then I think the secret was more or less out, because it was quite common knowledge on the set that Jordan could only shoot for a certain period of time and then he would have to rest and so on. And and it was his last film, and he died before the film was released. But I think he did get to see an early cut. There he is, of either some of his. I think they cut him a reel of some of his scenes together for him to see when he was in his final days.
That's amazing. Now we talk about films that do well with costume, right? Obviously there's an award for costume, and this film gets it as close, better than other films do. But what this film does over the top, and there is no award for barber. The beards in this film are, Jeff Daniels especially, are right on the mark. During the Civil War, you had some amazing examples of beards of all different kinds, mustaches, and there are whole books, I'm sure, written on different mustaches. In fact, sideburns, Burnside, the guy, Ambrose Burnside, who had the world's biggest sideburns, this film got it. And you can really appreciate the care that went into the entire character development, from the costume to the hair to the beards. The accents are much better in this film than they are in other films as well. So
right. This guy Smilex is saying, I met Martin Sheen and Charlie Sheen on the same day. I said loved you in Wall Street to both of them, I love Hot Shots. They took it at face value and didn't wink.
Oh,
This is Donald Logue, who, talking of beards, is completely hidden behind his beard.
mhm.
It was funny because I remember that a lot of people criticized the movie for the beards either being too over the top or looking fake, and I said,
Nope.
if
That's
you
how
look
it was.
if you look at the period photos that exist, and there are quite a few of the various groups of officers and stuff that were taken pre the Battle of Gettysburg, and some that were taken afterwards, they all look exactly like this.
They do.
Yeah,
They do. And they were trying to outdo each other. It was a mark of your social status.
yeah.
You know, how ridiculous, I say ridiculous, but they would say how, you know, complex and interesting the beards and mustache combinations were.
Yeah. Big beard, big feet. So, you know. Yeah. Oh, Sam Elliott is amazing in this film. And
That's the name, Sam Elliott. Sam
and
Elliott and Martin Sheen, in some of the behind the scenes work I was referencing, they were great.
his voice is at its most kind of Sam Elliott sexy purring mode. It's his voice is just, you know, he should release tapes, you know, those kind of tapes that people listen to send people to sleep. Sam Elliott did sleep tapes. Everybody would buy those because you can just listen to his voice all day long. He's got such an amazing voice. Yeah, it's a good film. Fantastic. Well, we'll do our American Civil War stream, Sandy, for sure.
I'm looking forward to it, Lance. I'm going to drop.
Yeah, no
I'm
problem.
going to continue to listen while I'm working out in my yard today. But thank you for sending me the link. And
No
it's
worries.
great to meet all of you. I will definitely check out your screens. And Retro Nerd Girl,
Yeah.
yes, Gone with the Wind. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah,
I'll
nice
look
to
see
meet you.
that.
All
Take
right.
care,
Thanks, all.
Sandy.
Thank you. Bye
Nice to
bye.
meet you.
Bye.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sandy's awesome. And again, how I met her was not through the usual routes. I guess the one thing I haven't talked about on my channel is my gaming stuff, which I almost kind of always refer to as a kind of embarrassing sideline. But I did start streaming some of the games I was playing. I'm actually now designing a game.
Oh.
Well, I'm designing the scenario for the game. So yeah, the map, I created it all. I've created the order of battle for it, everything, because the current game system I'm playing, Hex of Steel, is really good for that. You know, it's very accessible and you can learn how to play it pretty quickly. So and it was during one of my gaming streams that Sandy popped on. I came up because I was doing an American Civil War game, and so because of that, this is my gaming stream playlist, and you can see the American Civil War thing here. She would always come on and watch, and then she would be in the chat. She would be telling me all these amazing facts about the battles, and did you know this thing happened here and this thing happened here, and you know, so I would say, hey, did you want to just come on and like kind of narrate all of this for me while I'm getting my ass kicked by the computer? That'd be great. So yeah, so Sandy started coming on then I completed that. I've completed that at most difficulties, and yeah, this is so this is the I'm going to mute this, but that's actually the map that I've designed for the Battle of Arnhem.
Ooh.
And this is me on the stream designing the order of battle and working out where the units go and when they should come in, and because this is a battle I know a lot about history. So here these are the two units that form the blocking line, where most of the British didn't get past them, where some of the British went round the river road, which was here, and they managed to get to the bridge that way. But yeah, and this has opened up me to this particular game system has got a whole big community of its own on Discord. So I've made a whole load of friends there, which again has been, you know, kind of just great for both my mental health and kind of just social stuff. So yeah, and I got really into this. So I've been designing and trying to get this map right and constantly redesigning things. And then I get the computer to play itself. And it's funny. I don't know if you can see, even a non-gaming person will find this funny. So in the top left here, can you see this little island that I created with this water around? That's supposed to represent the UK, and it's covered in airfields. And the idea being that it's cut off from the rest of the map because no one has any naval units in this game. So I let the computer play itself. What does the German AI do? He goes and drops all these German paratroopers on these British airfields, then takes them over. Then he creates air units in the game. So now, if you look at the next version of that map, it's now, that area is now surrounded by mountains, is covered in AA guns, and all of these additional kind of computers. Stop messing with my scenario stuff that I've put on it. And this was me actually play testing the map, but I was playing against myself, and these are the guys that managed to get to the bridge and were trying to hold out. So that's been a lot of fun. I mean, really, I should have a separate gaming channel because I know you're not really sort of supposed to dilute your content too much. But the problem is I don't have time to run 2 channels at the moment. Maybe when my channel hits a certain level, I might do that, but it's just too much work. So
I feel you, dude. I feel you there.
yeah, and it's like, people kind of know, the intro video tells you what's on the channel when you click on it. That doesn't really give much focus to the gaming stuff, and the gaming stuff is always headlined Lance does gaming, so it's not like people are going to click on it accidentally and go, hey, this isn't a film interview. It's just like, no, it's me doing something else. So I think it's okay, but yeah, the goal is to definitely hit 5,000 subs by the end of the year. I actually wanted to hit, that was my target for this anniversary. Originally, I went over 3,500. I haven't checked in the last couple of days, so I guess I'll tell you what that is now. Currently, I am at 3,525.
Nice.
So creeping up, and I can see I've done all right on the revenue this month as well. Yeah, that's good. Definitely. I never started this thing with financial intentions. That certainly has crossed my mind, especially in recent years with the rising cost of living, and just thinking, God, any extra revenue stream is helpful. But at least YouTube is meaning my internet pays for itself. And my mobile phone bill is covered. So I'm covering some of my utilities with my YouTube. That's basically what I'm doing. Hostman's Lounge is in the chat. Good to see you, buddy. How are you? Yeah. So have you guys got anything you want to plug while you're on here? Because I'm nice like that. So yeah.
I have a long legs video coming out soon. I gotta finish working on the script after this. But hopefully tomorrow night it's out before MMM.
It's funny. It's like 60% of people I've asked really love it, and then the other 40%
exactly
say it's okay, but it's overrated. That I haven't met anyone who absolutely disliked it, really hated it. But it's either like, it's overrated, or oh yeah, it's amazing. Where do you fall, Vex? In the
I loved it. It was a 10 out of 10 for me. It's my favorite movie of the year so far.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to check it out now. Vex said that. Damn it.
Yeah, I like as soon as I went to go see it on a Wednesday, 2 weeks ago now. Completely transfixed by it. It was like it. Most people don't go to the cinema for horror, but I would say with the way that this one is technically put together, it's worth going to the cinema for, because for sure you will not have the same experience watching it at home.
Sure.
So I fell in love with it right away. I got what Oz Perkins, the director and writer, was trying to go for with it. And then I just started like dissecting everything that I'd seen. And then I watched it again. And I found that I loved it even more the second time around, because I was picking up even more of a, so like the first time around, because I was picking up on his style pretty quickly. I was looking for things in the background, of which I caught a lot, but I missed some of the key pieces of dialogue. So I focused more
Right.
on the dialogue the second time around. And maybe this is a spoiler, I don't know. It's marketed as a serial killer film. I would argue that this is the best possession film that we've gotten in a very long time instead.
Mm.
Okay. Don't tell us any more. Don't tell
I'm
us
not
any
going to
more.
tell. So
Ooh.
that's why my videos, I see a lot of people making reviews just like, "Oh, it's awesome," and they're just getting in front of a camera and saying what they liked about it. I'm not going from that angle at all. Instead, I'm kind of dissecting the finer details of the film that everybody seems to have missed and is the reason why it's so great.
You're actually being more of a professional film critique about it.
Yeah.
So
Well, how many conversations have we had Vex about that? Like having those deep discussions about
oh
whatever
yeah,
content. Yeah.
that's my vibe, right? Like I know, like
Yeah.
Lance, you tend to dive into like the more technical stuff, like here's what was going on behind the scenes and here's what they're doing to, but I really like focusing on just here's the deeper meaning of things, here's the influence of it. That's what really drives my love for cinema and television. So, and I felt that was able to be put on full showcase with Long Legs. Loved it.
Damn it. Now I'm gonna have to see this one.
I actually, before we start to wrap up, someone else has just asked to pop on, so just be aware I'm going to wrap up shortly. But you are welcome.
Sure.
They are welcome to pop on. Yeah, I had this up earlier and I didn't mention it. This was Four Lives is another one of the dramas that's so good. And if you want to see Stephen Merchant, who co-created The Office with Ricky Gervais in a really chilling role, you've got to watch this. This is the true story of a British serial killer, the most recent one that we've had, who was basically drugging young gay men, which was part of his kicks. And Stephen Merchant plays the killer in question.
Stephen Merchant.
It's
Wow.
called Four Lives, and he was dumping the bodies in this graveyard round the corner from where he lived. And even after the police found 3 bodies in the same spot, they still kept thinking that they'd all committed suicide. I mean, the police incompetence in this case has to be seen to be believed. It was only because of the parents and the sisters of some of the victims that they, actually got somewhere in getting this guy put behind bars. And it's quite atrocious what happened, but it's a really gripping.
He's so underrated, Stephen Merchant.
Merchant is an incredible
Agreed.
actor.
Yeah.
When I heard he was cast in this, because up until then he'd only done comedic roles. When I heard he was cast as this role, I thought straight away, this guy's going to be interesting in this part. I think he's going to nail this part. This is going to be great. So I was really keen to see him, and he is great in it. He's fantastic in it. Do check it out. It's well worth watching. I think again it's on ITV X, but I'm sure you guys will find ways and means of tracking it down if you can't see it. Whitey Bear, who is one of my favorite bros. Happy anniversary, you wonderful man. No bromo, maybe just a little. Bless you. And he's given me $20. Fantastic. That's very kind, man. Yes, there is another British drama with David Tennant playing a serial killer who's got a similar, but I emphasize, not spelt the same way. Got the Dennis Nielsen, different spelling of Nielsen, of course. No relation of mine, thankfully. Yeah, he was another serial killer who preyed on young men. And David Tennant is in a drama about him, and it's proper chilling. It's one of Tennant's best performances. Really, really, really good. I did see Stephen Merchant at the end of Hall Pass. That's quite a funny film. That Hall Pass, it's quite an underrated movie. Did anybody else want to plug anything else?
I've been watching Hotel Cocaine. It's based.
Yeah.
It's fictional. It's based on Studio 54 Miami, and the late 70s. It's really good so far. I'm really enjoying it.
Let me get some shots up of that. This is Blood of Zeus as well that Retro recommended earlier. That I was also going to. That's another one. Man, my
I have
list.
trouble with the animation with this series, but
Oh, really?
Really?
yeah.
Hotel Cocaine. For those people that don't know, is basically like the equivalent of Studio 54, but in Miami. If you guys have seen the film Scarface, and if you haven't, why haven't you?
Yeah.
And my by the way, Dickon, who co-founded the Outcasts, he showed Scarface to his kids the other day for the first time, and they were bored. They didn't make it till the ending of the film. What does that tell you?
Wow.
So I just find that unreal. But there's a club in Scarface called Hotel Babylon, or the Babylon Club, and that club is basically Hotel Cocaine. It's based on the same club.
Wow. Okay.
This is a drama series told from the perspective primarily of the guy who ran
the general manager.
The
general manager of the hotel.
And the thing about it was supposed to be like neutral territory, so everybody could come there and have a good time, be it the police, the federal agents, whoever. But of course, because it was this kind of neutral place, everybody's kind of leaning on the general manager either for information or one thing or another. Michael Chiklis is in it, doing what he does best, kind of playing like nasty federal agent type.
Oh yeah, he's a dick. He's perfect in this, and like it brings in the Colombian-Cuban drug wars in here. It does everything pretty accurate for the times. Just it's a fictional series, but it's great.
I've only seen the first episode because it's dropping weekly, so I'm guessing like episodes 2 and 3 are out now.
I think there's 6 episodes out right now.
Oh, is there 6? I'd only seen the first one.
Yeah,
but it's it's great, and the club was like quite famous for various people performing there.
Yeah,
they had their own sort of equivalent of the Playboy Bunnies, and it was quite blatant that people were just like kind of like racking up massive lines all over the club, and it was always the best quality gear from all of the dealers that had brought in. But in its heyday, it was the place, but it fell into hard times, and then it was abandoned for a really long time, and it was bought out by developers and is now a boring standard hotel. And if you go and look at the rooms on their website, they're not the same themed rooms that used to exist in the original hotel. But Danny Pino and Carlos Rodriguez and Yul Vasquez are all really good in this, so it's worth seeing. Hosty is in the house.
Hello, Hosty.
Hey, Hostman.
How are you? Oh, hello. Hello. You can speak. Don't be scared.
Hosty, speak, buddy.
Don't let the Aspergers take control. Come on, you can do it.
Yeah. Hosty, can you hear us? What's going on? Oh, I've got no audio with this individual. Let me. Okay, I'm going to take them out for the moment. Type in the private chat when it's working. Hang on, hang on. His audio's on the fritz. Wait a minute. The French underground is in the house. French resistance have arrived.
Uninspired.
Oh, turd.
Oh, mate. I was just about to wrap up. Now I'm going to have to definitely stay on.
No, dude. Well, I was literally coming on to say that I don't have that much time, but I was just popping on to say hi because I was like, oh, you guys are still live. I have like 10 free minutes, so it's good.
Yeah, and you haven't been on my channel since we did our epic breakdown of The Thing, the musical. So, we've your presence has been severely missed. Who has seen our breakdown of The Thing, the musical on the channel? Does everybody?
I watched it live. It was great.
Yeah, Gooch was in the chat.
Yeah.
Bex, have you seen it?
I haven't. No.
Oh, it's great.
It's brilliant.
It's great.
Come on,
brilliant.
Let me give you a taster.
Base, this is Station 31. Do you copy? This is Station 31, Base. Are you there? We found something. Something in the ice. The generator's down.
We're running low on supplies, and we're out of chocolate.
We're gonna run out of chocolate.
Not now, Janine.
Is that Enzo?
Yeah, it is.
Hold on. So, okay, I'm a little confused. So, you guys made a musical version of
No. We reviewed The Thing, the musical, the same way the last time we did Martin Weir's Napoleon as well.
Oh,
you know, with Danny DeVito that plays Napoleon.
So you know the recent thing you did with, what was it, Triceratops or whatever that?
Velocipaster, yeah.
Right. So you played it completely straight. That was like the best film ever made.
Yes.
Well, we already did that before you. We did it with this, and we did it with the Napoleon film, except that these were fictional films that haven't actually happened. But we reviewed them like they had happened, and we also got actors to come on and play, like Gary Bolter always comes on and plays the American producer. So he's part of the people that we're interviewing. And then there were Muppets that came on that gave us an interview about their appearance in the film and stuff like that.
Oh, that's brilliant.
And it was all
fantastic.
Totally unscripted. Totally unscripted.
I do have to go, but
Gooch, see you, man.
Yeah, see you guys. Good to see you again, Tur.
Gooch, I'll be in contact with you because I think my boss basically changed my days off to Thursdays. So since your shows are on Wednesday nights, I'll be able to make a couple. But I'll let you know like when I get my proper schedule down.
Right. I'm going to count you in for lots of stuff on Wednesday on my channel now in Uninspired. Fantastic. Glad you could tell me this.
Everyone,
right,
take
Gooch.
care. Congratulations, 2 years, lads.
Thanks,
I'll
man.
see everyone soon.
Appreciate you popping in.
See you, man.
Hello?
Yes.
Hear me? Hello?
Hey, Hosty, it's working.
Hello?
Hello.
Yes, we hear you.
Welcome to the channel. You're very welcome.
Hey, there we are.
I think he's severely delayed.
Maybe.
I think it's Hostman. It's the first time I've ever had you on the Outcasts Creative channel, so you're very welcome.
It actually wasn't. Remember, we were reviewing Better Off Dead.
Oh yeah. Sorry, but you didn't have a Top Cat thing as your avatar, so I probably don't remember it. But
no, I didn't. I just had.
Dude, you look like the Great Mouth Detective, man.
Great Mouth Detective. Yeah, that's right. That was about a year ago, I think.
Well, Enzo drew this for me, so if you want to blame someone for that, blame him.
I'll blame Enzo, dude.
Looks good. And welcome, Jill. Anti-derivative Jill is here.
Hi, Jill.
Hey, Jill.
Jill.
Happy second anniversary.
Thank you so much, Jill. And just again, also thank you for constantly offering to have me on your channel. It's been awesome.
For sure. Yeah. So I realize you can't go on every time I invite you, but I like
no, but keep inviting me all of those times because I
Yes.
appreciate the invites, and whenever I can get on, I will. Sometimes I might be in the midst of game design or writing scripts or whatever. But
of course. Well, you've done so many amazing things these past 2 years, so congratulations.
Bless you. World peace has not been achieved yet, but I'm
working on it, huh?
I'm working on it. Uninspired. We actually did a poll on the last stream as to what our next nonsense film review should be.
No,
and the choices were The Muppets Do Jaws.
Ooh, okay.
That was one of them. Was anybody else here? Was anybody else on that stream that's here now? I don't think you guys were on it. There were four.
No.
There were 4 suggestions. I can't remember what the other three were, but one of them was Muppets Do Jaws, and there was so various fictional versions of existing movies. Pixar does Showgirls. That was one of them.
Okay.
Oh
yeah.
No.
Because of the AI, the fun AI stills that we could have creating that. So Pixar Does Showgirls was one of them. I think that's quite a strong contender.
You could do Pause instead of Jaws.
Paws.
Like
Yeah.
a terrifying kitty cat that looks so cute, and it gets you with their paws.
But it
Oh
actually,
wait, you know what, Lance? Let me send you a picture. Speaking of that, you know what? While we're on topic, I weirdly have this picture in my camera roll, so I'll send it to you on Twitter, which is relevant to the
yeah.
pause.
Oh,
Dude, send it to me and I'll put it. Do you want me to put it up?
Yeah, dude, you can put it up here. There you go.
Okay, let me.
I sent. I don't know. I have this picture for roll.
Let me.
To the
God,
conversation.
my Twitter inbox is popping with. Here we go. Yeah, you're at the top. I've got loads of messages. Oh yeah, I've got to share this. This could. How funny this could be the poster, and yeah, we could call it Pause. Definitely would be Pause.
Starring role.
Yes.
I shit you not, dude. I have had this picture on my phone for a while, and I've never had the chance to use it.
Can confirm
yeah,
cats love fish.
Oh.
Lobster Man is in the chat. I'm not familiar
Dude,
with Lobster
that's
Man.
me, dude. That's me.
Oh, is that you?
Yeah,
How,
it is.
how many IDs have you got?
Hey, look, it's me. There, I typed it in the chat again, and you'll see. Yeah, dude, that's my normal YouTube account that I use. I never use my uninspired reviewer account to watch
The
videos.
non-professional YouTube account.
Exactly. That's why the picture is the thick thighs save lives, but thigh highs are my demise.
Yeah, I see that. All I could see was women's lingerie, and I thought, okay, man. All right, no need to explain your two personas. It's all good. We support you, whatever you do. So uninspired, yeah. I feel your presence has been sorely missed. I've not seen you for as long as I've not seen Hosty, so it's definitely a long time.
Yeah, man. I just have been busy because every time either you make a stream or anything like that, it starts around 11 p.m. my time. I'm asleep by 9:30, so I don't even watch the streams anymore.
But when I first met you, you were on this kind of like hardcore I'm awake all 24 hours regime.
Yeah, but I have a job now, so
no,
I have to
that's
wake up
good.
early.
I mean, that's fine. Yeah, I do earlier streams, so I'm quite happy to do an earlier one on Wednesday just for you, so you can. So, because the Wednesday slot is now free because the Acolyte is done, so I'm going to be looking to do something. Yeah, well, yeah. Let's not go there. We don't want to. Don't want this to turn into a 2-hour. The Acolyte was terrible rant, and it so easily could. You know.
Hey, I haven't even been watching it. I've just been following along with the discourse, and that's been hurting my brain.
Oh well. Let's show something slightly more positive. It's got a tinge of sadness, but I think it's worth showing because I follow the son of Robin Williams on Twitter, Zach Williams. He's just put up this fantastic photo. It would have been Robin Williams' 73rd birthday today.
Oh.
And this is a great picture. Dad, on what would be your 73rd birthday, I remember you for all the hope and joy you brought to the world. There's not a week that goes by without someone sharing with me how you helped them through a dark time or a rough patch. I'm so grateful to be your son. Love you forever. God, that's just I'll never forget the day that they announced that Robin Williams had passed away. There are 2 days I distinctly remember traveling on the tube, or what you guys would call the subway, and everybody looked in shock. One of those was the day of 9/11, and the other one was the day that Robin Williams passed away. Yeah. So,
Lance, are you on Instagram? Like, do you have an Instagram account?
I do. It's private. I don't really. It's not really a major sort of connection to Facebook thing.
Okay.
Talking about of people that are banned and blocked from my Instagram account is
thanks.
I was just wondering because the other day I had found this. I was scrolling through Instagram and I found this conversation between Philip Seymour Hoffman and Robin Williams before they unalived themselves. So I'm gonna send that to you if you want to show it on stream.
Hold on. Was Philip Seymour Hoffman a end yourself situation as well?
Yeah, I mean, he intentionally overdosed.
Well, that's not really ending yourself. That's just indulging a bit too much.
No, it wasn't that. Like he overdosed himself to kill himself on purpose. Like that's.
Are you sure?
By all accounts, that's what happened.
Interesting.
I'm not 100% sure on that. Where I mean, I know he was a regular user of hard drugs, because that was how he sort of coped. And there's a very famous quote from Hoffman that when he was working his way up, it was just before he did Scent of a Woman, which is what got him noticed. He was on the acting course he was on, and him and his mate, who were kind of short, chunky, chaps, and a lot of the other guys on the course were your kind of leading man, Brad, what's his name, lookalikes. And he turned to his friend and he said, "You know what? We don't look as good as some of the other guys on this course. So you know what we're going to have to do? We're going to have to be really shit hot at our acting." And that is certainly true. That element of his attitude really paid off. It says, according to, I'm just checking on because I want to set the record straight on this. His death was officially ruled an accident caused by acute mixed drug intoxication, including heroin, cocaine, benzodiazepines, and amphetamines. So, I mean, you could, I don't want to speculate about what happened.
We'll never
I
really
can't
know,
tell.
but the official thing, right? Yeah.
So,
well, in a way, it's kind of similar for Robin too, because it was an unalive situation for him, but it was because of Lewy body dementia.
Yeah.
What's
He
that?
had it's a brain disease that I had no idea about until I looked up things about him.
Huh.
Yeah.
He was diagnosed, I think, like 2 months or 2 years or something like that before his passing.
Interesting.
I'm trying to get this man to come on my channel, changing the subject to more cheerful topics. He's constantly posting things on Twitter.
He looks like a French cannoli.
Can you? Well, he is a bit. Can you hear him, or
No,
can't hear him. I'm getting my usual.
He looks like
it's
Mads Mikkelsen. If
Serge.
Mads Mikkelsen was a burnout.
Surge from Beverly Hills Cop.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Bronson Pincott, and Bronson Pincott is posting loads of little miniature videos of him playing Surge, and so he did one where he talks about what is it with old people wearing skinny jeans. This is not a good look. This is not a good look, and he was going to stop doing Surge impersonations because the comments that he was getting about them weren't sufficient. And I said he wanted suggestions for new topics. So the proposal I put to him was, if Surge accidentally got propelled back in time to Germany in 1936 and Hitler asked him to design all the costumes for the Third Reich, would he do it? I feel this is the next plot for the next Beverly Hills Cop movie. Anyway, we'll see if we can get him on. It'd be good if we could, because I love him. I think he's brilliant. So he doesn't like Denzel Washington very much. If you want to find out why, read the IMDb notes on Bronson Pincott's IMDb. Yeah, they had a bit of a run-in.
Also, hi, Blue Collar.
Yeah, hi, Blue Collar.
Yeah, I just finished the Band of Brothers, Stills and Lance. Those last 15 minutes, that was not easy to get through.
No, it's we're going live on that in 2 hours.
Yeah. Well, like Vex was saying, I was in the chat, my kid, he's got this weird horror vibe, and we walk out. I was like, how'd you feel, Dad? He goes, Long Legs is my second favorite film of the year. His favorite's still Late Night with the Devil, because he loves that movie. But Long Legs, like Vex would say, it's hard to say anything under a 9. It's a damn sure 9 or 10 out of 10 movie. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I've got to see Long Legs at the cinema.
You haven't seen it at the cinema yet?
It's not one of those movies I would recommend unless you're like really into occult and horror mysteries, because it does deal very heavily with satanic rituals and things of that nature.
Right.
Yeah. And also, that's a problem I said earlier in chat or to anybody. When it comes to the horror genre, remember there's different levels. Like, is Silence of the Lambs a horror film, or is that a serial killer film? Or like Silence of the Lamb is different
my
than say
dog is trying to get into the
than say like Seven or but then you have like Friday the 13th or Halloween. So you can't really like that's the issue with horror now. Horror is like not everything is Freddy Krueger horror.
Oh yeah, dude. Like that's why I hate whenever there's a new horror movie that comes out, it says, "Oh, it's the scariest movie of all time." Like, no, it isn't. We know 100% that it is not the scariest movie of all time. They said that about Paranormal Activity. Paranormal Activity is one of the most boring movies you can ever watch.
Like, yeah, it's got 2 jump scares in it basically, and you know it's like the rest of it is like what's happening
exactly
here?
And there's not even tension in Paranormal Activity. I'm someone who has watched every single one of those, even till the most recent one that came out like I think last year or something. I've watched them probably 3 times each, and I'd say the 4th one is the scariest one, which is I think Paranormal Activity the marked ones or something like that.
Oh, I stopped after 2 because yeah, I'm like you. That first one was not like it's like normie horror. That's all.
Yeah, I didn't watch any of the nonsense.
And even with Longlegs, one of the aspects I didn't like about the movie was the constant jump scares, and a lot of them were pretty predictable too. Like,
I haven't seen it, so no spoilers, please.
Yeah,
no spoilers.
like there's this one scene where it's like,
stop.
Oh, no. I'm gonna be vague. I'm being intentionally vague. Like, there's this one scene where they do there's an action like towards the middle of the movie. Like they pick something up, and you've seen this in 1,000 other horror movies, so you're like, this is gonna happen, isn't it? And you're like, yep, that happened, and they expect you to think it's scary. Like I'm not.
Dude, for me, it's really like Osgood Perkins. The fact that he was saying what he said on Twitter, like in the interview where he's like, oh, he doesn't want to watch any other like horror movies like Maxine or something. He'll never watch Maxine. I was like, dude, shut up. Like Longlegs is literally your first good. Dude, Longlegs is his only good movie. I have seen every single one of his films. Longlegs is his only good film, followed by The Blackcoat's Daughter. And even then, The Blackcoat's Daughter is very boring most time. The dude literally puts the emphasis of slow in the term slow burn for that movie. And like
I'm not talking about his movies. I'm just talking about like how saying that modern horror for the most part is pretty sucky. Like, yeah. Like,
no, I totally disagree, dude. I think modern horror is some of the best horror that we have had in decades, man. Modern horror is probably the best horror that we've had since the 70s. And I'm talking about
this is a debate for another time because
we're
at 6 o'clock and we're running out of
just
time.
wants to debate Longlegs because nobody did last night when he was doing his Spaces.
Well,
so it's on him. He's on fire right now.
Unfortunately, we're gonna have to start to wrap things up because I have to go and eat, and I've got to, also this just in, someone's about to go on a magnificent adventure. This just in from Hobbiton. For anyone who doesn't know, this is Whitey Bear channeling his inner Bilbo. So yeah, that's a cool photo, man. Thanks for sending me that.
Oh, is he gonna drink at the Green Dragon at the end of that?
Toxic likes Longlegs. Toxic, you could have come on today, man. I sent you the link. I don't know why you didn't come on. So, guys, thanks so much for coming on my 2-year anniversary stream. Once again, I wasn't expecting too many people, especially not my UK co-host, because as Luke will probably tell you, it's an absolutely gorgeous day in the UK. We've actually had some sun the last few days. Very rare. We don't normally get much sun.
No, dude, it's the inverse over here. It's the first time I've had rain in like 3 weeks.
Oh, well, it's
been rain nonstop over here. Like, it's been ridiculous.
You're in southern France. You get good weather like 75% of the year.
That's actually true.
Yeah, so you're not allowed to moan about the weather at all ever. But no, it's thank you so much for coming on, especially Retro, who once again has got up early and has been here for the whole thing. Really appreciate that.
My pleasure.
I am going to do a quiz in the near future because I did do a quiz on the anniversary last year, but I wanted a bit more time to prepare it, get some proper clips, and I also kind of what I want to do is figure out. I want to get my Rumble account sorted, and then I'm going to upload a load of clips onto Rumble for the quiz so that I can put the link in the chat and say, okay, guys, watch this clip so that suddenly our stream doesn't get blocked, because that would be a bit of a disaster. Because YouTube are really coming down with the big mighty hammer now on that stuff. So, you know, I don't
Yeah, even my screenshots started to get claimed, so I have to put watermarks.
Wow. Really?
So yeah, it's really annoying. I'm on the last couple of episodes of Exploding Kittens. I absolutely love that show, and the
Oh,
scene,
dude, yeah, I saw it. I haven't seen the show, but it's been on my list ever since they
it's
had
great.
announced it. I just haven't had time to watch it.
The scene where Godcat decides to down a bottle of chili sauce, and then the consequences. That clip is definitely going to be on the movie quiz. Yeah, don't ever let a cat in your house that's down a bottle of chili sauce.
The best part is the guy who played Lucifer for 5 seasons is playing God. That's the comedy in itself.
Oh, Left Eye, thanks so much, man, for that super chat. Really appreciate that. Very kind. Left Eye was on my birthday stream the other night, which loads of people jumped on that. That was so lovely. So yeah, so we're going to wrap up. Just going to do a round robin quickly. Has anybody got anything they want to plug real quick? Don't do the whole channel breakdown for the next 6 months, but retro, what you got coming? Retro, what you got coming up?
Just watch parties and just fun stuff. Just come on over and subscribe if you haven't done so already.
Fantastic. Retro Nerd Girl can often be found on my channel, vice versa. Really good reviews of older films and TV shows.
Oh, thank you.
But not limited to older films and TV shows. Occasionally some new stuff as well. Vex, you're on Cannoli on Monday, I assume?
Yep, we're doing Deadpool, the first movie on MMM.
Nice.
Fantastic.
And I'll be on Brown's channel later on today as well.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, very good. I think he starts normally just as we're beginning to wrap up Band of Brothers. Jill, when's your next Star Trek-y sci-fi thing?
Well, on Tuesday I do For All Mankind at noon, and on Friday I'm going to do something for Nana Visitor's birthday. But my next Star Trek stream is going to be I'm going to review Star Trek Insurrection on the 2nd of August.
Topical.
That's the movie. That's the
movie.
That's the one where something goes wrong with Data at the beginning, and they've kind of got that hideaway hole on that planet with the aliens.
Yes, they sing a song.
That's an interesting film, that one, because it's got some really good ideas in it, but for some reason it doesn't all hang together quite.
Well, it's just an elongated episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation. Is what it is. It's
like a good episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation. It's not a great movie. That would be my assessment of it.
Oh, it's not a great movie, but I'm doing all of the real Star Trek movies, so I got to have all 10.
Got to do them all. Got to do them all. $2. $2. Pay off the paperboy from Better Off Dead. Thank you, Michael Sarah.
Actually, with the YouTube tax, that doesn't really pay off the paperboy. So send another one, Gord.
Okay, Gord. Can you send a $10 super chat if you could? I'll stay on a couple of extra minutes. Insurrection, not good, but made to look a masterpiece by New Trek. Oh, okay. Did they do a re-edit of it? That'd be interesting.
Yeah, well, anything before 2000, before 2009 looks better compared to New Trek.
Uninspired, we're doing Pause the Revenge. This time it's Muppets, obviously. But what else? Anything else you got coming up you want to plug?
Nothing. My next review is going to be Deadpool 3, which I will be seeing on Thursday. Apart from that, we have 2 hosts next week Sunday, so that'll be on Dark Hours channel. But that's pretty much it, man.
What are you guys doing on 2 hosts?
I think Batman 89. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Batman 89.
Did I miss the Karate Kid stream? Because I was supposed to be
No. So we were supposed to do the Karate Kid stream this Saturday, but I have something to attend to, so we switched it to a Sunday. And so instead of doing the Karate Kid on Sunday, we're doing Batman 89. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's all worked out quite well, because I'm at a rave this coming Saturday celebrating my birthday.
Lucky.
So I will not be compos mentis to do Fab. Hosty, anything you want to plug quickly before we wrap up?
Not really. I'm not really streaming now because I'm pretty busy. I just popped in because I had some free time, but I'm still working on that Has Been Hotel video that's been going on for like 4 months at this point. I've already reworked the script like twice, scrapped 20 minutes of footage, so I don't think it's coming anytime soon. And my laptop is not very fast, and it doesn't do well with long segments of videos. So when I'm editing, so that it's
I feel for you, man.
Yeah.
No problem. Well, okay. Just remains for me to say thank you to everybody who came on, including the people that are not on right now, but came on earlier, most of whom I've already forgotten. But all of those people, and also Vex Electronica, Retro Nerd Girl, Host, The Uninspired Review, Anti-Derivative Jill, Blue Collar Loser, Gooch. Who else do we have? Sandy. Anyone? Ferris Bueller? Anyone? I think there was no. I think there was one other person. I'm sure I'm missing someone. Anyway, all of those. Thanks for all the comments in the chat. I had quite a lot of people watching. I mentioned Gooch. Quite a lot of people watching all the time. So that's really nice. So I'm going to be back in just over 90 minutes to do the final episode of Band of Brothers with a fantastic panel. We got Critical Drinkers coming on. I think we've got Doc Rowe, Shane Taylor, who played Doc Rowe on Band of Brothers. I think he's going to come on towards the end. Plus, I've got History Bro, Blue Collar Loser, my usual guys. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So, yeah. So thanks to everybody in the chat. Thank you for the super chats. I really do appreciate those. I'm not used to getting those so much. So I really do appreciate them because right now finances are a little bit tight. So and I know they're tight for everybody else as well. So you know, your generosity at such times, I just want you to know, is greatly valued. Don't forget to tell the people that you care about that you love them. And remember, next Saturday I will be doing this.